Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Everyone profession. Lord of the Netherworld, you become stronger by burning corpse. Chapter 1. Everyone, please sign in here. Name, Lu Fan. Occupation, Nether Warlock. Level, F. On the playground of Kangnan number 1 middle school. As soon as Lu Fan opened his eyes, the news of job transfer came to his ears. He looked at the familiar scenes around him in disbelief and murmured in a low voice, "I am reborn." Immediately afterwards, familiar taunting sounds sounded around. "Ha ha ha, Lu Fan only awakened level F. It's so funny. Looking at how hard he usually works and memorizing so many professional illustrations and monster illustrations, he is not a loser in the end. I heard that the Lu family has a family rule. Clan members whose awakening level is lower than sea level will be kicked out of the family." "Haha, that's great. This guy usually looks aloof. Isn't it just because he is from one of the 3 major aristocratic families? If he is kicked out of the family, I don't think he will be aloof." The faces of the students who were watching were full of disdainful sarcasm, as if they were watching a joke. And in the VIP seats in the school playground, all the big guys in the city looked at Lu Zontian, the head of the Lu family, in the middle of the seats with gloating eyes. Lu Zontian's face turned gloomy to the extreme, and he slapped the table angrily and stood up. "Lu Base, is this the good son you gave birth to with that woman of unknown origin? The family has never produced an F-level talent in the 500 years since its establishment, but you broke the record today. The whole family has been disgraced by you. If I had known this, I shouldn't have come to join in the fun." After that, Lu Zontian left angrily despite everyone's dissuasion. Lu Base was left alone with his head bowed and silent. And all this was seen by Lu Fan in the center of the awakening formation. The classmates were sarcastic. Lu Zontian left the table angrily, and his father bowed his head in disappointment. It's exactly the same as the previous life. But this time, there was no sadness or anger on Lu Fan's face. Instead, the corners of his mouth raised slightly, revealing an imperceptible smile. He turned around and left the awakening formation, arriving at an abandoned classroom with no one around. He raised his right hand, and a green flame rose in his palm. "Ghost fire. I'm actually resurrected. In this life, I will repay the humiliation of the previous life one by one." Name, Lu Fan. Occupation, Nether Warlock. F. Level, 1, 0.00%. Strength, 10. Agility, 10. Endurance, 10. Spirit, 20. Physique, 10. Health value, 100. Magic value, 200. Equipment, none. Active skill, Ghost Fire. Level 1 causes damage of 10% of the spirit per second to the target, lasting 2 seconds, mana consumption, 50, cooling down for 2 seconds. Looking at the familiar panel introduction in front of him, Lu Fan nodded with satisfaction and then closed the panel. Spirit 10%, lasts for 2 seconds, and the target's defense is subtracted from each damage. The total damage actually adds up to not even 0.2. This ridiculously low value also deserves to be rated F. But Lu Fan didn't panic at all. Because he knows that this profession can awaken and become the only hidden profession in the world, the Nether Lord. The Ghost Fire has hidden properties, and you can gain experience and attributes by burning corpses. Lu Fan took out his phone from his pocket and looked at the time. Soon, if I remember correctly, a large number of monsters will invade the campus in 10 minutes. The level of the monsters is not high, they are all below level 10. However, because it was too sudden, it still caused a lot of casualties to the students on campus. All Lu Fan has to do now is just stay here quietly. At this moment, a burst of rapid footsteps broke the surrounding tranquility. Click, 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 is the sound of high heels. Lu Fan knew who was coming without having to guess. It was his teacher, Baia. Baia walked up to Lu Fan in a pure white dress and hugged him into her plump breasts. "Lu Fan, don't be discouraged, it's only F level. As long as you work hard, you still have a chance to become stronger." "Ah, teacher, Lu Fan's head was buried so hard that he almost couldn't breathe. "Lu Fan, the teacher knows your family's rules. If you go back now, there will definitely be a conflict. Tonight, come to the teacher's house to spend the night. The teacher will find a way to help you improve your strength." Baia said softly, with a trace of concern and expectation in her eyes. When Lu Fan heard this, his nosebleed almost came out. But he has more important things to do later. At the moment, I could only shake my head and decline the teacher's kindness. Meanwhile, the school's awakening ceremony continues. The next person to take the stage is Han Yanlin, the daughter of the Han family. Although she was wearing a simple school uniform, it still couldn't hide her peerless appearance. However, at this moment, that beautiful face was filled with tension and worry. She was very afraid that she would be like Lu Fan and awaken an F-level profession. If this was the case, she would probably die of shame on the spot without the family taking action. Name: Han Yanlin. Occupation: Pyroblast Mage. Level: S. As the principal's sonorous and powerful words fell, the entire playground instantly boiled. It's actually S-class. How long has it been since this school produced an S-level student? The last time I remember was 10 years ago. It's amazing. The Han family is probably going to take off this time. Amid the heated discussion, Han Yanlin was also shocked and speechless. Originally, she only expected to be satisfied with awakening an A level, but she didn't expect that she would directly awaken an S level. Her whole body was shaking with excitement. At the VIP table, many dignitaries stood up to congratulate the head of the Han family. Master Han is so lucky. In the future in Kangnan City, I hope that the Han family will take care of me. Even the mayor of Kangnan City stood up in person to congratulate the head of the Han family. For a time, the Han family became the center of attention. In comparison, Lu Tian seemed a little lonely. He stood up and exchanged brief greetings with the head of the Han family before preparing to leave. But at this moment, the ground suddenly shook violently, and dimensional cracks appeared in the surrounding space. Countless strange-looking monsters poured out of the cracks, roaring and charging towards the crowd. The sudden invasion of monsters caused the entire playground to become chaotic instantly. The students, who had never seen a monster before, panicked and ran away screaming. Fortunately, the teachers in the school and the VIP seats are not vegetarians. They rushed forward one after another, each showing their magical powers. Fortunately, the level of this group of monsters is not high, they are all low-level monsters below level 10. The chaotic scene was quickly brought under control. At this time, the teacher Baia also noticed something strange outside. She let go of Lu Fan and went out to see the situation. However, they discovered that 5 elite goblins with maces in their hands appeared at the door of the classroom. Lu Fan spent 3 years in high school and was familiar with the monster manual. He naturally knows this common monster. Elite Goblin, Enhanced Elite Monster. Level: 8. Power: 180. Agility: 100. Endurance: 200. Physique: 350. Spirit: 100. Health value: 3,500. Magic value: 1,000. Monster characteristics: extremely lustful, obsessed with human women. Once a woman falls into their hands, the end will be disastrous. I saw 5 elite goblins licking their tongues and walking into the classroom with lewd smiles on their faces. Obviously, their target is Baia, who is beside Lu Fan. Lu Fan was confused. These 5 goblins were not part of his plan. According to the memory of the previous life, the monsters probably only invaded the playground. There are no monsters at all in this remote classroom. Could it be that it was attracted by Baia? But fortunately it's not a big problem. Although Baia is a trainee teacher who has just been here for a year. But there are more than 10 levels. Defeating these level 8 goblins in front of you should be easy. Surprisingly, this attack only knocked out 1/3 of his health. Lu Fan was stunned. Hey, teacher, are you right? You can't drop a level 8 monster in 10 seconds. Baia smiled awkwardly. The teacher's profession is a priest of radiant light. He mainly assists in healing, so his attack is a bit weak. And this goblin is an elite monster. So, only then did Lu Fan realize that Baijia's occupation was actually a nanny. But it's not a big problem, he has helpers. He immediately took out his cell phone and dialed his father's number. If his father Lu Base arrived, it would only take a matter of minutes to kill these 5 goblins. But unfortunately, due to the invasion of monsters, the signal was interrupted, and the mobile phone could not get through. In addition, this is a remote and abandoned classroom, and it is impossible for others to come to the rescue for a while. They saw 5 elite goblins rushing towards them with lewd smiles on their faces. Lu Fan raised his hand and smashed the window with a ghostly fire. He took Baijia's hand and jumped out of the window to escape. But the 5 elite goblins obviously would not let go of a beauty like Baia, and they chased after her. Baia cast a spell while running, and another white light shot out, accurately hitting the injured goblin. Another third of his health was reduced. But at the same time, one of the goblins actually threw the mace in his hand and hit Baijia's leg. Baia lost her balance and fell to the ground. Lu Fan looked back and felt something bad. 5 goblins had already taken the opportunity to rush forward, and one of their big hands had even grabbed Baijia's calf. Tear a slit in the white lace stockings on top. Lu Fan, leave quickly. Leave me alone. Baia knew that she could not escape her bad luck, and did not want to drag Lu Fan down, so she waved her hand for Lu Fan to leave quickly. To be honest, if any other stranger was arrested at this moment, Lu Fan would not pay attention at all. But facing such a kind and slim teacher, Lu Fan naturally would not choose to die without saving him. Teacher, use another skill to kill that goblin. I have a way to save you. Lu Fan shouted to him. But Baia had lost her fighting spirit at this moment, lying on the ground and letting the goblins tear her clothes apart. She believed that even if that goblin was killed, the remaining 4 would not be something that Lu Fan, who had just changed jobs and was only F level, could deal with them. Teacher, have you forgotten what you just told me? Don't give up, believe me. Lu Fan yelled. When Baia heard this, her eyes became firm again. They all die anyway, so it won't be a loss to take one of them away before death. Just thinking like this, the light on his right hand flickered again. But his limbs were suppressed by the goblin, unable to move, so he could only fire randomly. Fortunately, this shot of white light happened to hit the half-blooded goblin, killing him on the spot. Upon seeing this, Lu Fan immediately used Netherworld Ghost Fire, instantly burning the body of the elite goblin to ashes. Among the ashes, several green balls of light flew out and penetrated into Lu Fan's body. In an instant, Lu Fan's eyes and body were blazing with green flames. Awakening the unique hidden profession, Lord of the Netherworld. The damage of ghost fire increases by 100 times. Causes mental damage *1000% per second, lasting 20 seconds, mana consumption, 500, cooling time 1 second. Activate the hidden ability of the ghost fire, burn the corpse and become stronger. Burning the corpse can obtain 10 times the target's experience points and attribute bonuses. Note: attribute rewards are unique. Burning the same monster will no longer obtain attribute rewards. Burn the corpse of a level 8 elite goblin, experience plus 3500, strength plus 180, agility plus 100, endurance plus 200, constitution plus 350, spirit plus 100. Level upgraded to level 5, all attributes plus 50, free attribute points plus 250. Each level up, all attributes plus 10, free attribute points plus 50. This time it's saved. Lu Fan allocated all his free attribute points to his spirit. Name: Lu Fan. Occupation: Nether Lord only. Level: 512.50%. Power: 240. Agility: 160. Endurance: 260. Spirit: 420. Physique: 410. Health value: 4100. Magic value: 4200. Equipment: none. Backpack space: 0/20. Active skill: Netherworld Ghost Fire. Level 1 causes mental damage *1000% per second, lasting 20 seconds, magic value consumption, 500, cooling time 1 second. After burning an elite goblin, Lu Fan's strength could be said to have taken a big step forward. But at this time, the teacher Baia was being suppressed by the remaining 4 goblins, and all the clothes on her body were torn to pieces. What's even more terrifying is that one of the goblins is still force-feeding some kind of green liquid into Baia. Ghost fire. Lu Fan shouted lowly and raised his hand. The 4200 damage per second will instantly burn the goblin who is pouring liquid to ashes. Baia was completely dumbfounded. You must know that Lu Fan is just a level 0 newcomer who just changed jobs today. And the talent is still the worst F level. But just now I was able to kill a level 8 elite monster in one move. How can this be? You know, even she has to hit 3 times to kill her. The remaining 3 goblins were also attracted by Lu Fan's actions. They stopped harassing Baia and rushed towards Lu Fan. Lu Fan didn't panic at all. One ghost fire burned every second to ashes. However, for the same monster, burning can no longer improve its attributes and can only provide considerable experience points. Defeat an elite goblin, experience plus 350. Burn the corpse of an elite goblin, experience plus 3,500. After killing 4 elite goblins in a row, Lu Fan's level was successfully upgraded to level 7. He hurriedly walked over to help Baia and asked with concern, "Teacher, are you okay?" Lu Fan, "I'm so hot." Baijia's face was red and she was panting. Lu Fan was startled, and then he felt that the teacher's body was really hot. "Holy shit, teacher, do you have a fever?" But before Lu Fan could react, Baia suddenly brought her face closer and kissed Lu Fan on the lips. Lu Fanru was shocked and felt a softness on his lips. The heaven-like pleasure made him kiss back unconsciously. But soon Lu Fan woke up and pushed Baia away. Now is obviously not the time to do this. Monsters are invading the campus and this place is still dangerous. Lu Fan looked at Baia and saw that her face was flushed, her eyes were blurred, and her hands were constantly stroking Lu Fan's body. It's obviously spring. If you guessed correctly, it must have something to do with the green liquid that the goblin force fed just now. In an instant, Lu Fan was shocked by electricity. He suddenly recalled the records in the monster manual. Goblins will prepare drugs to make women go into estrus. Once drunk, they will fall into the abyss of endless desire. If you cannot satisfy that urge within an hour, you will explode and die. Thinking of this, Lu Fan quickly picked up Baia and ran away. It was effortless to pick up the slender Baia. Just like that, I hugged Baia and ran all the way to the school parking lot. Fortunately, there are no monster invasions here yet. Lu Fan put Baia into the passenger seat of his Porsche sports car. Start the engine and leave through the back door of the school. Lu Fan originally planned to wait in the abandoned classroom until everything was over and then come out and burn the body himself. Now I can only change my plan, escape from here first, and then come back after finishing Baia. Fortunately, I didn't encounter any obstacles along the way. As expected, the only area invaded by monsters was the school playground. Lu Fan guessed that this was probably related to the energy fluctuation caused by the job transfer ceremony. But even the reborn Lu Fan didn't fully understand the specific reasons. "Hey, teacher, wake up. Where is your home? I'll take you there." Lu Fan pushed away Baia who was getting closer. But at this time, Baia had already lost consciousness, like a wildcat in heat who only wanted Lu Fan's body. There was no other way, Lu Fan could only go to the hotel to get a room first. Soon after, the two finally arrived at the hotel, Heaven and Earth. This is the most luxurious 5-star hotel in Kangnan City. A one-night stay costs at least 2,000 gold coins. "Hey, Master Lu, it's rare for you to be in a good mood today. You brought someone here before it got dark." The lobby manager in hot uniform joked to Lu Fan. "Stop talking nonsense and arrange a room immediately." "Okay, it's still the presidential suite on the top floor. Mr. Lu, can you check it out?" "Can." Lu Fan agreed without even thinking about it. Although the presidential suite priced at 80,000 gold coins per night is ridiculously expensive for ordinary people. He even said that as long as Lu Fan was willing, it would be no problem to live here 365 days a year. Under the leadership of the lobby manager, Lu Fan took Baia in his arms and took the direct elevator to the presidential suite. "Master Lu, if you need it, my sister can join us." The lobby manager lifted the black stockings on her legs and said with a seductive look on her face. "Roll." Lu Fan closed the door directly. He has no interest in this kind of woman. And although Lu Fan is lustful, he only likes one-on-one. At this time, Lu Fan was already burning with desire due to Baijia's teasing along the way. He directly pressed Baia on the bed and started to make trouble. A few hours later, Lu Fan left the hotel. "Hey, Master Lu, you are leaving now. Will you come back tonight?" The lobby manager chased him out and asked. "I'm not coming." By the way, if the girl in my room wakes up later, you can arrange a car to take her home. Okay. After Lu Fan said that, he got in the car, started the engine, and drove away. When we arrived at the school, the fighting here had long ended. The entire playground was in a mess, and everything you could see was densely packed with corpses of monsters. Lu Fan looked excited. For him, these are all experiences and attributes. No nonsense, just start the fire. Burn the corpse of a level 1 blue snail, experience plus 100, strength plus 15, agility plus 5, endurance plus 5, constitution plus 20, spirit plus 0. Burn the corpse of level 2 mushroom boy, experience plus 200, strength plus 30, agility plus 10, endurance plus 10, constitution plus 40, spirit plus 10. Burn the corpse of a level 4 spotted pig, experience plus 400, strength plus 50, agility plus 30, endurance plus 40, constitution plus 80, spirit plus 40. Burn the corpse of the level 10 wood demon, experience plus 1000, strength plus 280, agility plus 150, endurance plus 300, constitution plus 350, spirit plus 200. As Lu Fan burned wantonly on the playground, the golden light on his body also kept emerging. The levels soared directly from level 7 to level 9. Lu Fan made a lot of money this time. This covers almost all monster corpses from level 0 to level 10. It was like it was specially prepared for him. And it's not just ordinary monsters and elite level monsters, there are even several lord level monsters. That is the boss, as the saying goes. Just now, Lu Fan saw a huge level 10 lord level monster lying next to a destroyed boys' dormitory building. You must know that the attributes of one lord level monster are enough to defeat several elite monsters. But just as Lu Fan was happily burning his body, on the other side was the Lu group building. However, a group of Lu family members were discussing the matter of expelling Lu Fan from the family. What's even more exaggerated is that the head of the Han family is also coming with people. The purpose is to break off the marriage between his granddaughter Han Yanlin and Lu Fan. The top floor of the Lu group building. The head of the Lu family, Lu Zontian, sat in the center of the hall, his brows full of anger. Lu Base, it's been a few hours, and your good son Lu Fan hasn't been contacted yet. I have asked the housekeeper to send people to look for him. I believe there will be news soon. Please be patient and wait, father. As Lu Base spoke, he was dialing Lu Fan's number repeatedly, but the signal was very unstable due to the invasion of monsters. At this time, the great elder Lu Moji on the side smiled contemptuously and said, Jia, there has been no news for so long. Could it be that he died at the hands of those low-level monsters? As soon as these words came out, the whole audience burst into faint laughter. Lu Zontian even snorted coldly. It would be better to die, so as not to tarnish the Lu family's reputation outside. When Lu Base heard this, he couldn't bear it anymore and shouted directly. Father, Lu Fan is your grandson after all, how can you talk like that? Grandson, I don't have such a useless grandson. Lu Zontian became even more angry when he heard this. He wanted to be strong all his life, not weaker than others, and now he actually gave birth to an F-level grandson. His old face was almost completely lost. At this time the housekeeper came in from outside and shouted, Report to the head of the family, we have found out about Master Lu. The faces of everyone present were condensed, and they looked at the housekeeper curiously. Explain, Lu Zontian said impatiently. According to the news from my subordinates, Master Lu went to a 5-star hotel a few hours ago, opened a presidential suite in heaven and on earth, and... What else? I also brought an unconscious woman with me. What? Lu Zontian struck the table with his palm. The conference table made of special materials had clearly visible cracks. It's already this time, and you're still in the mood to do these things. It's really hard to be successful. Father, I'm afraid this news is wrong. Although Lu Fan is usually a bit perverted, he is always smart and would never do such a stupid thing at this time. Lu Base was still trying to excuse his son, and turned to the housekeeper. Clear. The butler nodded and withdrew again. I don't think this is necessary. The great elder Lu Moji sneered again. It doesn't matter where Lu Fan is now, what matters is that he is just an F-level waste. I'm not telling you, Han Yanlin from the Han family next door is S-level. Our family's requirements are not that demanding, as long as they are above sea level. But he is just an F. In this era when everyone is changing jobs, I am afraid that even children from ordinary families rarely get F right. Quote. Then the second elder on the other side also nodded and said. As soon as this incident came out, although others dared not say anything openly, in fact, our Lu family has already become the laughing stock of the whole city. And I just received news that the city government has decided that the Kangnan Dragon City project will be handed over to the Han family. Quote. As soon as these words came out, Lu Zontian's expression suddenly wrinkled again. The Kangnan Dragon City project was already settled a few days ago, so why did it suddenly change? The second elder coughed and said directly without any concealment. It's not just because the Han family has an S-level Han Yanlan, now it can be said that the entire city's resources are moving closer to the Han family. You must know that an S-level mage profession has huge potential. If it develops smoothly in the future, it is very likely to become a giant. For example, the deputy governor of Zhongnan province relied on his S-level mage career to advance rapidly, and this is how he achieved his current prominent position. With such a precedent, everyone thinks that the Han family will have another deputy governor. Therefore, everyone is scrambling to build relationships with the Han family so that they can be taken care of in the future. Quote. As soon as these words came out, Lu Zontian almost spit out a mouthful of blood. You must know that just one project in Kangnan Longcheng is worth billions. They invested countless manpower and material resources before and after, and finally reached an agreement a few days ago. In the final analysis, it was because the contrast between Lu Fan's F-class and Han Yanlan's S-class was too stark. This is undoubtedly a huge blow to the Lu family. At this time, the third elder who had been patient for a long time stood up suddenly and roared. If you ask me, you don't have to wait any longer. According to the clan rules, you can be expelled from the family directly. This way you can save some dignity. When Lu Base heard this, he couldn't sit still. He stood up and said sternly. I said you are all too impatient. Are you going to enforce the clan rules before Lu Fan arrives? You know, even if you really want to be expelled, it will be in the family ancestral hall, in front of the memorial tablets of your ancestors. How can anyone be expelled before they see it? Quote. As Lu Base said this, he took out a contract from his pocket and threw it on the table. Everyone looked up and saw a marriage contract. Lu Base snorted coldly. Also, I would like to remind you that everyone seems to have forgotten one thing. When Lu Fan was born, a daughter of the Han family also happened to be born. Under the auspices of the two former heads of the family, the two families arranged a baby wedding. Quote. Lu Base said, picking up the engagement contract and passing it slowly in front of everyone. Shockingly, I saw that the daughter of the Han family in the engagement was none other than Han Yanlan. This moment, everyone looked at each other in shock. The head of the family, Lu Zontian, even came over personally and picked up the marriage contract and looked at it carefully. Then the old face showed a rare joy. I never thought that this kid Lu Fan would be so lucky. The three elders also seemed to change their faces, beaming with joy. If that's the case, then we and the Han family will be one family from now on. The Han family may become the #1 family in Kangnan City in the future. If we can become in-laws and join forces with them, it will undoubtedly be a great thing for the Lu family. You want me to see it? This marriage must be finalized as soon as possible. We will go to the Han family tomorrow to propose marriage. Lu Base looked at this group of profit-seeking people and shook his head helplessly and sighed. In his opinion, there is no trace of family affection in the entire family, and everything is based on family interests first. This made him feel extremely chilled. He doesn't even plan to participate in the next family head election. But at this moment, the conference room door was opened. The housekeeper hurriedly walked in and shouted, "Report to the head of the family, the head of the Han family has come downstairs with a group of clan members." Oh, so fast. Lu Zontian laughed and said, I didn't expect the Han family to be so impatient that they came over first to propose marriage. However, the housekeeper was trembling all over and said with an ugly expression, "Master, they are not here to propose marriage, but to cancel the engagement." On campus, after Lu Fan burned all the ordinary monsters and elite monsters, he came to the destroyed boys' dormitory building. Here lies a Lord-level monster that is 5 stories high, the Black Pig King. This is a level 10 dungeon in the wild, the final boss in the secret realm of the grotto. Although its level is only level 10, it possesses extremely terrifying endurance and physique. Passive skill, Black Fur Steel Armor, can block 100 points of damage. In other words, if the damage does not exceed 100, it cannot cause any damage to it. Usually, even with a 5-person team, it would take at least 5 hours of fighting to kill it. Looking at the messy signs around them, it was obvious that everyone had spent a lot of effort in eliminating the Pig King. But this time it was easier for Lu Fan. Directly using the ghost fire will burn the Black Pig King's body clean. Burn the corpse of the level 10 Black Pig King, experience plus 30,000, strength plus 400, agility plus 250, endurance plus 600, constitution plus 1200, spirit plus 200. After burning the corpses of all the monsters in the school, Lu Fan's experience and attributes increased horribly. Level 9 2438%. Power 3200. Agility 2300. Endurance 4000. Spirit 3400. Physique 10200. Health value 102,000. Magic value 34,000. Among them, the increase in physical fitness is particularly obvious, reaching a terrifying 10,200 points. It can be said that even the combined physiques of the entire Lu family are probably not as good as Lu Fan alone. However, Lu Fan's level at this moment was still level 9, and he had not broken through to level 10, and his experience pool was overflowing. This is because if you want to break through from level 9 to level 10, you must have a first level breakthrough certificate. First level breakthrough certificates are very rare and only have a small chance of falling from level 10 Lord level monsters. Although Lu Fan now relies on his heaven-defying attributes, it is not difficult to defeat a level 10 boss. But he didn't want to waste this time and drove directly from the school to Kangnan City's number 1 auction. There were auctions of various rare items there, including the breakthrough certificates that Lu Fan needed. But when he arrived at the auction door, although Lu Fan didn't know what happened, he was not interested. After getting off the car, we went straight to the VIP channel. "Hey, Master Lu, why are you here?" A beautiful woman wearing a bright red cheongsam saw Lu Fan coming and immediately stood up to greet him. The slits of the cheongsam are very high, and the inside is looming, which is very attractive. Lu Fan reached out and touched the beautiful woman's thigh hard, and said with a smile, "Hongfei, I haven't seen you for a long time. Your legs seem to be even hotter. How can you still be in the mood to joke, Mr. Lu?" Concubine Hong said and took Lu Fan to a VIP private room on the 2nd floor with a nervous look on her face. "What's wrong?" Lu Fan sat on the sofa, calm and relaxed, grabbed a handful of melon seeds, ate them and asked. Concubine Hong sat down next to Lu Fan and said solemnly, "Master Lu, how dare you come to my place? You don't know that your family is looking for you all over the world." "I know," Lu Fan said with an indifferent expression. "Then you still dare to come here? The Lu family's spies have long been around here. I advise you to run before the other party takes action. Maybe you can escape this time and the old man's anger will subside." Quote. "TCH, I don't care if the old man is angry or not." Lu Fan snorted coldly and took out a bank card from his pocket. "You don't have to worry about my affairs. Now go get me a first-level breakthrough certificate. The amount of money will be deducted from your card." Breakthrough certificate. Concubine Hong was stunned. "No, Mr. Lu, why do you want that thing? You just changed jobs. Don't ask any questions, just do as I say." The red concubine looked troubled. "No, forget it, leave." Lu Fan didn't waste any time and turned around to leave. Unexpectedly, there was another commotion outside at this time. "Black Heart Auction. Return my breakthrough certificate." Black Heart Auction. Callist with the aristocratic family to bully small trade unions like us. Lu Fan stopped and turned back to look at Concubine Hong with confusion. "What happened?" The red concubine sighed and said helplessly. "These people are members of a small trade union in the field. They got a breakthrough certificate this morning and put it up for auction. But I didn't expect that after the Han family knew about it, they directly contacted our president and pre-ordered this breakthrough certificate in advance. Quote. Decided in advance. Lu Fan naturally understood the meaning of this word. This is a common black trick used by the three major aristocratic families, and it is also a well-known unspoken rule of the auction. The three major aristocratic families will announce the price in advance and decide on the items they are interested in. When a custom item is put up for auction, a very conspicuous custom logo will appear in the lower right corner of the big screen. In this way, when other bidders see it and know that it is something that the three major aristocratic families are interested in, they will naturally not dare to bid any more. But in this case, the seller will suffer a big loss. Because they can only get the price given by the three major families, which is often lower than the transaction price of normal bidding. Lu Fan smiled coldly and asked. It's up to the Han family to decide how much money they will pay. 2 million. 2 million. Lu Fan was startled. If I remember correctly, a breakthrough certificate must cost at least 3 million. Isn't that right? Besides, it's the job transfer season now. If it really goes up for auction, 5 million is just a small thing. That's why those people from the small trade union are here to make trouble. Lu Fan smiled coldly. The Han family is too picky. As one of the three great aristocratic families, they can still take advantage of other small guilds by ordering something. Hey, wait. Lu Fan suddenly remembered something and thrust his hand into concubine Hong's chest, squeezing it hard. Ah, Mr. Lu, be gentle, what's wrong? Hong Fei was pinched until she gasped. Lu Fan looked unhappy and said coldly. Didn't you just tell me that the last voucher in your auction was sold yesterday? Why is there another one now? The red concubine looked helpless. Ah, Mr. Lu, I didn't mean to lie to you. This voucher was approved by the Han family. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Lu Fan rubbed concubine Hong's chest hard again. Just tell me if this certificate is still at auction. Still. But. Where? It's in the collection pavilion, but it belongs to the Han family, and the collection pavilion is guarded by 2 strong men. You can't get it. Collection pavilion, right, I got it. Lu Fan smiled faintly and stood up to go to the collection pavilion to get something. Concubine Hong saw something was wrong and immediately followed. Master Lu, you are crazy. Everyone in your family is looking for you. It's okay if you don't run away. Now you are going to cause trouble. Isn't this asking for death? Don't worry about what happens next. Lu Fan waved his hand and signaled concubine Hong to leave. But at this moment, a huge explosion suddenly came from the auction venue. The huge sound made the entire venue commotion. Concubine Hong was one of the people in charge of the auction. When she heard the noise, she ran over immediately. There were thousands of people sitting at the auction venue, all of them prominent people in the city. After all, this is the first auction in Kangnan City. Every lot is expensive. Anyone who is qualified to bid here must have assets of at least 1 million levels. At this time, everyone turned to look in the direction of the explosion. It was discovered that a large hole had been blown out of the wall behind the auction venue. The smoke cleared. Nearly 100 strong men walked out, each holding a weapon and possessing an imposing manner. Among them was the group of people who were noisy at the door of the auction just now. The 2 people walking in front had extremely extraordinary temperaments and were obviously the leaders of this group of people. Even their level information and career information are deliberately displayed next to their names. One is a level 26 Golden Knight, and the other is a level 25 Barbarian Warrior. Concubine Hong recognized them at a glance. These 2 people are the presidents of the top 10 trade unions in the wild. The level 26 Knight is the president of the Cavalry and Blade Guild, named Lu Feng. The level 25 Barbarian Warrior is the president of the Zodian Union, named Teta. These 2 people are frequent visitors to auctions, and they often put up rare items from the wild dungeons for sale at auctions. Therefore, Hong Fei is no stranger to the 2 of them. Looking at this posture, the 2 major trade unions are fully mobilized. The purpose was obviously for the breakthrough certificate that was approved by the Han family. Teta, a savage warrior with tendon flesh, stabbed the big knife in his hand hard into the ground. The terrifying force smashed a deep hole visible to the naked eye on the solid floor of the auction house. Where's the president of the auction? Get out of here, is there any justice in this world? You guys gave me 2 million for the first level breakthrough certificate. You're treating people like monkeys, right? Quote. As soon as these words came out, most people present understood what was going on. It was the two major guilds who stood up for the person from the small guild. When Concubine Hong heard this, she was also panicked. The president has just been invited by the head of the Han family to the Lu group, and he is not here at all. At this time, no one from the guild responded to the auction. Lu Feng, a knight in golden armor, also stepped forward and shouted. I'll put it here. If we don't give an explanation for this matter today, we won't be able to continue the auction. With that said, he threw the golden hammer in his hand towards the auction booth. Only a loud bang was heard. A huge pothole was smashed into the booth. For a moment, everyone in the audience exclaimed. You know, this move is undoubtedly a provocation to the auction house and the three major families behind it. At this time, the security personnel of the auction also rushed over in time. However, they are all only a dozen or so levels, so they are no match for them at all. The savage warrior slashed one at a time and killed them all in a short time. Upon seeing this, Concubine Hong immediately ran out from the VIP passage. Everyone, please calm down. Our president is away for something right now. Could you please go to the lounge and wait for a while? I believe that when the president comes back, he will definitely give you a satisfactory answer. Concubine Hong said as she took out 2 gold auction coupons worth 100,000 yuan from her backpack and prepared to give them to the two presidents to calm them down. Unexpectedly, the barbarian warrior just glanced at the golden scroll and threw the red concubine away. Wait another 3 minutes, if your president doesn't come out and give an explanation, we will dismantle your auction. As soon as these words came out, the whole place was in an uproar. If the knight's action of throwing the hammer just now was a provocation, then the barbarian warrior's behavior now is tantamount to a direct declaration of war. How dare you declare war on the three major families? These guilds are too arrogant. They have no idea about the strength of the three major families. I bet 100,000 gold coins that the two unions causing trouble now will disappear in 2 days. Everyone in the venue began to discuss quietly. At this moment, a black shadow suddenly appeared and steadily caught Hong Fei, who was about to land. Concubine Hong nodded in surprise. Master Lu, your skills. Lu Fan smiled and did not explain. He just put Hong Fei down, took out his bank card from his pocket and threw it towards the barbarian warrior Teta. I want your first level breakthrough certificate. There are 5 million in this card, which should be enough. Teta took the bank card and said with a puzzled look. Boy, who are you? Lu Fan put his hands behind his back, pretending to be an expert from this world. Lu Fan. Everyone present was in an uproar again. Lu Fan. He is the Lu Fan who awakened F-class waste, which has been widely spread throughout the city today. How dare he show up here? Don't you know that the Lu family is arresting him? Teta was also startled. 5 million is enough, but boy, you seem to have made a mistake. The breakthrough certificate has been bought by the Han family and is not with us. You don't have to worry about that, as long as you have enough money. After Lu Fan said that, he turned around and left. A cool batch. But at this moment, the mutation happened again. 6 men wearing sunglasses and suits suddenly came out from all directions and surrounded Lu Fan. One of them held a walkie-talkie and said, Report to the housekeeper, Master Lu has been found, at the first auction. A buzzing sound came from the intercom. Bring him back immediately. Received. Master Lu, please. Unexpectedly, the barbarian warrior Teta behind him spoke first. Hey, kid, just let me know if you need help. The man in the suit heard this and said with an unhappy face, How dare you interfere in the Lu family's affairs? Lu family, are you so great? If we were afraid, we wouldn't be here today. Teta walked forward slowly with a giant knife in his hand. The level of the 6 men in suits was 19, and they would definitely not be opponents if they really fought. Seeing this barbarian warrior with a rough face, the man in the suit was also a little panicked. Took out the intercom and prepared to report the situation to the housekeeper. Seeing this, Lu Fan raised his hand and threw a ghost fire. It actually burned the man in the suit to ashes instantly. And as Lu Fan took action, his level information was also exposed. It was level 9. At this moment, the whole place was silent. After a few seconds, everyone began to come back to their senses. What's going on? Didn't this guy just change his job today? How come he's already level 9? That's right, even if he has S-level talent, he can't reach level 9 in a day after he awakened his job. Besides, isn't this guy an F-level talent? The most terrifying thing is that even if he's level 9, it's impossible to kill a level 19 warrior in 1 second. This is incredible. Even the barbarian warrior Tata and the golden knight Lu Feng all looked unbelievable. You know, even at their level, they dare not say that they can kill a level 19 person in 1 move. Hong Fei was also horrified and stood there in a daze. The young master of the Lu family, who she had been with for many years, made her feel a little strange at this moment. In the horrified eyes of everyone, Lu Fan looked calm, with his hands in his pockets. He left the auction venue and walked towards the collection pavilion behind. The remaining 5 men in suits were already frightened out of their wits. They stood there trembling, not daring to do anything to stop them. Hey, talk, hello. The old housekeeper shouted at the other end of the intercom, but received no response. The head of the Lu family, Lu Zontian, looked gloomy and said angrily, "What's going on?" The old housekeeper frowned and said in disbelief, "Report to the head of the family, something may have happened to the people sent to arrest young Master Lu." What did you say? How is it possible? Lu Fan just changed his job today, and he is still a loser. What will happen if we catch him? Lu Zontian said in disbelief. Will someone help young Master Lu? After all, young Master Lu has been smart since he was a child and has made many friends in the city. The old housekeeper said tremblingly. Lu Zontian waved his hand. It's absolutely impossible. Looking at the whole city, no one dares to interfere with our Lu family's family affairs, unless he is dead. At this moment, a burst of hearty laughter came from outside the hall. Ha 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 ha, head of the Lu family, long time no see. How are you? Everyone quickly turned their heads and looked outside. It turned out that the head of the Han family had already arrived with his clan members. Lu Zontian is a straightforward person, not as pretentious as the head of the Han family. He came directly to the head of the Han family, raised his hands and coldly snorted. Han Tianai, don't be so pretentious, I'm just asking you, are you, the Han family's mobilizing force, here to break off the engagement? Han Tianai laughed. As expected of you, Lu Zontian, you speak directly. Okay, then I won't beat around the bush. That's right, I'm here this time to terminate the engagement between your Lu Fan and my Han Yanlin. What did you say? Lu Zontian was furious and started to slap the case. Okay, you fool Han Tianai, this engagement was made 18 years ago by the previous head of our family. If we want to break off the engagement, it will be the 2 elders who come out to break it off. You, a younger generation, are not qualified to do so. Ha 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 ha, I expected you to say that. Han Tianai laughed, took out a letter from his pocket and threw it over. Take a good look at what this is. Lu Zontian took the letter, opened it, and was shocked. It was actually a letter written by the previous head of the Han family. And the content above is clearly about agreeing to break off the engagement. Seeing Lu Zontian's surprised expression, Han Tianai's face became even more proud. Lu Zon was trembling all over, but he couldn't find any words to refute. Han Tianai remained unyielding. Okay, old Lu, as the head of the Lu family, you should naturally know that marriage requires a well-matched match with equal strength. Your Lu Fan is just an F-level waste, how can he be worthy of my S-level Yanlin? Even if I didn't come to break off the engagement today, the 2 of them wouldn't be able to be together. After all, after today's job transfer, your Lu Fan and Yanlan are no longer in the same world. Quote. Lu Zonqiang was trembling all over and roared. Han Tianai, you were right, getting married requires a good match. But you have to understand, our family is not a small family. If it were an ordinary family, breaking off the engagement would also be breaking off the engagement. But my Lu family is one of the 3 major aristocratic families in Kangnan City. If you break off the engagement today, where will my Lu family's face be from now on? Quote. Han Tianai smiled coldly, his face full of contempt. I don't care where you put your face. As the saying goes, a tiger girl doesn't marry a dog. Today's marriage has been cancelled by our Han family. Han Tianai, are you declaring war on my Lu family? Declaring war means declaring war. Why should our Han family be afraid? Lu Zontian, do you still think that the Lu family can be on an equal footing with the Han family in the future? After Han Tianai finished speaking, he took out an admission notice and threw it over. Lu Zontian took it and looked at it, and was shocked again. It was actually an admission notice from Qingyan University. You must know that the National College Entrance Examination will be held in 1 month, and admission notices will be issued based on results only after the college entrance examination. Where did you come from? You haven't even taken the college entrance examination yet. Where did you get the admission notice? Han Tianai laughed. I'm really sorry. Our Yanlin has been admitted in advance by Professor Zhuang of Qingyan University. She doesn't even need to take the National College Entrance Examination next month. She will be directly recommended to Qingyan University. What did you say? Qingyan Academy. As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was shocked. Qingyan Academy, the #1 academy in southern China, is extremely powerful. It is extremely difficult for ordinary people to enter Qingyan Academy, and they dare not even think about it. But once you enter, your future prospects are limitless. The school not only has abundant training resources, but more importantly, it allows you to make more connections. All in all, as long as you step into the gate of Qingyan Academy, your future achievements will not be low. And the Professor Zhuang that Han Tianai was talking about was Zhuang Yan, the famous Flame King in Qingyan Academy. It is said that the students who graduated from him will all become the backbone of the Chinese Empire in the future, without exception. Lin Fenshen, the general guarding the frozen fortress in northern China. General Li Rong guarded the hopeless sea in eastern China. And Yin Chunha, deputy governor of Jiangnan province. Wait. All come from the solemn sect. Therefore, there are also comments from the outside world that as long as you can become a disciple of Zhuang Shen, you will definitely become a giant in the future. But in contrast, the solemn admissions conditions are also very harsh. He only recruits fire mages with talents above level S. You must know that the fire mage has the first level of output ability among all professions, and is called a spell turret. Spell critical strike, spell combo, continuous burning, area group damage. Fire mages have it all. Therefore, in the Chinese Empire's defense against the invasion of monsters, fire mages play an extremely important output role. However, the fire mage profession is extremely rare. Even across the country, not many fire mages are awakened every year. Not to mention a fire mage of S level or above, that is even rarer among the rare. Looking at the admission notice from Qingyan University in his hand, Lu Zontian looked extremely sad. He knew very well that Han Yanlin had now become Professor Zhuang's disciple. That means that with the support of Qingyan Academy and Professor Zhuang behind the Han family, the Lu family can no longer be the opponent of the Han family. In the near future, there will not be any so-called 3 major families in Kangnan City, but only the Han family will be the only one. Lu Zontian sighed and said helplessly, "Okay, in that case, I have nothing to say." Han Tianai laughed. "That's right, Lao Lu. Don't worry, with the friendship between our two families for so many years, I won't embarrass the Lu family too much in the future." After saying that, Han Tianai took out the divorce agreement he had already drawn up and slapped it hard on the table. "Okay, where's that loser Lu Fan? Let him come out and sign." What a coincidence. Lu Fanren is not here now, and we are looking for him too. Lu Zontian didn't know why, but he couldn't help laughing suddenly. "What did you say?" Han Tianai was shocked. "You must know that the divorce agreement must be signed by Lu Fan personally before it can officially take effect." "Where is he now?" Lu Zontian smiled and shook his head. "I don't know. Lao Lu, at this point, there is no point in delaying. You should know very well that this marriage will definitely not happen. Moreover, Professor Zhuang has rules. His disciples are prohibited from falling in love and getting married during their studies." Quote, "Okay, don't let Professor Zhuang come out to suppress me. Let me tell you, that kid Lu Fan is at the first auction now. You can find someone to bring him here." "What?" At this time, among the crowd of Han family, a bald old man suddenly screamed. It was none other than the president of the first auction, Chairman Shu. He had been invited by Han Tianai to come to the Lu family to witness the breakup of the engagement. Hearing that Lu Fan was at his place at the moment, he instantly felt that something was wrong. If something goes wrong later, there's no telling how much damage it will cause. But Han Tianai raised his head and laughed. Ha ha ha, what a coincidence. Chairman Shu of the auction is behind me right now. After saying that, he turned to look at President Shu behind him and said, President Shu, could you please send your men to bring Lu Fan here? Ah, this isn't appropriate. Lu Fan is a member of the Lu family. If I send someone to capture him, this wouldn't be appropriate. President Shu knows very well that he must not step into this muddy water, otherwise he will not be able to protect himself. Lu Base also nodded. Yes, father, no matter what, Lu Fan is also a member of our family. If he wants to bring him back, it should be someone from our Lu family who brings him back. Lu Zontian snorted coldly. What about our family? Once he awakened his F-level talent, he has nothing to do with our family anymore. Lu Zontian now thinks of the difference between his good-for-nothing Lu Fan and the Han family's S-class Han Yanlin. I couldn't help but feel furious inside. At this time, the third elder of the Lu family finally couldn't bear it anymore. Okay, don't we just bring Lu Fan back? I'll go to the head office in person. This mess should be over quickly. I'm going to watch a movie with my girlfriend later. After the third elder said this, he stood up and left with a few of his men. Han Tianai smiled and joked, while calmly gesturing behind him. The third elder of the Han family behind him understood instantly and pulled President Shu and several of his subordinates to follow him. In this way, the three elders of the two major families were dispatched at the same time, rushing towards the first auction house in Kangnan City. At this time, Lu Fan had already left the auction venue and arrived at the collection pavilion. There are 6 floors in the collection pavilion. Each floor contains rare treasures. And the higher the level, the rarer the things stored. Even the most sought-after items such as first-order breakthrough certificates are only stored on the 3rd level. After all, a breakthrough certificate can only be used once in a lifetime, and it is of the 1st level. Brushing a few hundred more level 10 dungeons will help you get it right. The reason why it is so popular right now is just because it is the career transition season recently. Once this period of time has passed, the demand for first-order breakthrough certificates will decrease significantly. Lu Fan came to the door of the collection entrance and was about to go in, but was stopped by 2 guards wearing armor. The collection pavilion is an important place, and no one else is allowed to enter. Let him in. Hong Fei rushed over and shouted to the 2 guards. Unexpectedly, the 2 guards did not buy the red concubine's account and said coldly. It turns out to be concubine Hong. Although you are the second in charge of the auction, the important collection pavilion can only be released with personal notification from the president. I can only say sorry to you. The red concubine stamped her feet anxiously. I said, let him in. I will bear all the consequences. The 2 guards looked at each other and smiled, their smiles were extremely lewd. Hong Fei, it seems that you are very anxious. Let's do this. If you promise to take good care of us 2 brothers tonight, we can turn a blind eye. You 2 fools, please understand that I am doing this for your own good. Lu Fan raised his hand and hit the ghost fire with a strike. One of the guards was burned to ashes in an instant. This time, Hong Fei and the other guard were dumbfounded. You must know that this guard is a level 25 warrior. Moreover, the whole body is covered with level 20 equipment, and the health value is at least 20,000. Now, he was instantly killed by Lu Fan, who had just awakened and changed his profession. It's so incredible. That's right, they couldn't have imagined it. Lu Fan, who had just transferred to another job less than a day ago, already had a terrifying mental power of 3,400 points. After awakening, the ghost fire can cause 10 times the mental damage. In other words, the current ghost fire can cause 34,000 damage per second. Then, while the other guard was stunned, Lu Fan shot another ghostly fire. In just a moment, the 2 guards of the collection pavilion were easily killed by Lu Fan. Ignoring the shocked concubine behind him, Lu Fan walked directly into the collection pavilion. Going up to the 3rd floor, there are all kinds of rare items neatly placed on the vast floor. Equipment, elixirs, and various precious props. But Lu Fan ignored them all. He only had one goal, the 1st level breakthrough certificate. After scanning around, I found it easily. After taking it out, Lu Fan used it directly. In an instant, the whole body was filled with golden light. 1st level breakthrough successful. Level increased to level 15, all attributes plus 120, free attribute points plus 600. After the first level, every level up, all attributes plus 20, free attribute points plus 100. The Ghost Fire is upgraded. Comprehensive active skill. Nether Flame Pillar Level 1 summons a pillar of soaring flames within 10 meters of itself, causing spiritual damage *2000% to all targets within the range. Magic value consumption 3000, cooling time 10 seconds. Understand the summoning skill. Summon the Hades Dog Level 1 to summon a Netherworld creature, the Hades Dog, to assist in the battle. The magic value consumes 6000 and the cooling time is 60 seconds. Looking at the familiar skills, a sneer appeared on Lu Fan's lips. Everything is finally coming back. Lu Fan added all attribute points to his spirit, and then checked the system panel. Level 15, 32%. Power 3320. Agility 2420. Endurance 4120. Spirit 4120. Physique 10320. Health value 103,200. Magic value 41,200. At this time, suddenly there was the sound of car engines outside the attic. Lu Fan closed the system panel, walked to the window and looked down. It was actually the third elder of the Lu family and the Han family who brought people over. Downstairs in the collection pavilion, 3 Rolls Royces and 3 Bentleys parked quietly. They are not ordinary luxury cars. The unique license plates, Kang 88881, Kang 88882, Kang 88883 and Kang 66661, Kang 66662, Kang 66663, are like unique identity marks, which instantly remind people of the Lu family and the Han family. Pedestrians around were attracted by the battle and stopped to watch. Oh my god, these cars just appeared out of nowhere. Look clearly, that's the Lu family's Rolls Royce. And the Han family's Bentley. Both families appeared at the same time. There must be something wrong here. Hey, you guys don't know yet. I heard that just now, the young master of the Lu family, Lu Fan, instantly killed the Lu family's thugs at the auction. Holy crap, you're talking nonsense. Didn't the young master of the Lu family just change his job today? And he's still a loser. How can he kill the Lu family's thugs instantly? That's right, what you said is totally outrageous. I heard that people from the Han family thought that young Master Lu's talent was too low. They took people to the Lu family to break off the engagement. Now they are here to arrest young Master Lu and go back to sign. While everyone was talking about it, the doors of the Rolls Royce and Bentley opened simultaneously. The 3 elders of the Lu family and the Han family got out of the car one after another. Behind the 2 men were 12 burly thugs wearing black suits and sunglasses. There are also 4 nannies in nurse uniforms. President Shu, are you sure that Guy Lu Fan has come to the collection pavilion? The third elder of the Lu family was the first to ask. It's absolutely true. On the way here, the communication was restored. I opened the chat group, and everyone in it was discussing Master Lu's affairs. Some of them reported that they saw Master Lu going to the collection pavilion with their own eyes. It's strange. This kid has just awakened his profession. What is he doing in the collection pavilion? The third elder of the Lu family looked puzzled, but still walked towards the collection pavilion. President Shu followed behind him and said with an ugly face, "The third elder of the Lu family, the group just said that Master Lu was at the auction venue, a bunch of..." "What? Give the thugs your family sent to catch him, just a second." "What did you say?" The third elder of the Lu family couldn't help but throw up his head and laugh. "President Shu, do you think you are confused? Do you think it is possible for a young boy who has just awakened to the F-level profession to kill my Lu family's thugs instantly?" The third elder of the Han family also followed behind and couldn't help laughing. "That's right, President Shu, you must have made a mistake. If Master Lu had that ability, our young lady would not break off the engagement with him." "Yes. But President Shu wants to say something else. I heard about it. Isn't it because of the bad things the Han family did? They hacked the first-level breakthrough certificate that the small trade union worked so hard to get, and only gave 2 million. The trade union was unhappy and called 2 big guilds to help. That's why our thug was accidentally killed." The third elder of the Han family smiled coldly. Third elder of the Lu family, what do you mean by this? You are talking as if your Lu family has never done this. No one is qualified to say anything about this kind of thing. TCH, I'm too lazy to argue with you. Our Lu family hacks other people's things and we at least pay enough for the market price. Unlike you, our hacks are outrageous. It's an insult to the reputation of our three great families. When the third elder of the Han family heard this, a look of contempt appeared on his face, thinking, this old guy is really stupid. He still dares to call himself one of the three great aristocratic families. Does he really think that the current Lu family can still be on an equal footing with the Han family? Anyway, the top priority now is to catch Lu Fan back and sign the annulment contract. Don't argue with you idiot now, wait until my Han family gains momentum and see how I can crush you under my feet. While talking, several people came to the door of the collection pavilion. But the scene in front of them made everyone confused. I saw two piles of ashes on the ground in front of the door, and Concubine Hong standing there in a daze. Hey, Concubine Hong, what happened? Where are the guards of the collection pavilion? President Shu stepped forward and asked with a puzzled look on his face. But before Hong Fei could speak, I saw a figure falling from the sky. Everyone turned around and saw that it was Lu Fan they were looking for. Lu Fan, your boy has finally appeared. It seems that you should have thought clearly. No matter how hard you hide, you will not be able to escape the fate of being expelled from the family. The third elder of the Lu family laughed. Lu Fan looked disdainful and said coldly, if it weren't for your surname Lu, I would kill you right now. What are you talking about? How dare an F-class trash talk to me like this? Seeking death. Everyone, take this guy back to me. The third elder of the Lu family waved his hand, and 6 thugs from the Lu family rushed forward and surrounded Lu Fan. The third elder of the Han family also winked at his men, and 6 thugs from the Han family rushed over and surrounded Lu Fan. When the third elder of the Lu family saw this, he looked unhappy and said, Third elder of the Han family, what do you mean? Don't mind, it doesn't mean anything. I'm just worried that you might accidentally let someone go. How can a newly awakened F-class waste escape right under my nose? However, as soon as he finished speaking, a circle of green flames was seen on the ground around Lu Fan. Only a loud boom was heard. A huge green pillar of fire rose into the sky, like a roar from hell, instantly turning the 12 thugs around him into ashes. This immediately made the 2 elders of the Lu family and the Han family completely dumbfounded. What's going on? Was that guy Lu Fan setting the pillar of fire just now? The third elder of the Lu family was the first to ask. The third elder of the Han family shook his head in horror. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. However, Lu Fan put his hands in his pockets, walked up to the 2 elders with an indifferent expression, and said coldly, you are a bunch of trash, but you still want to arrest me. As Lu Fan approached, the 2 elders also saw Lu Fan's level information. Level 15. How can this be? You know, this guy just changed jobs today. Why is it level 15? Even a genius can't be so fast. But before the 2 elders Lu and Han could react, Lu Fan had already taken the lead. A stroke of ghostly fire hit the third elder of the Han family. In an instant, the body of the third elder of the Han family ignited with green flames, and the health bar disappeared at an incredible speed. But the third elder of the Han family, as the elder of the 3 major aristocratic families, is naturally not a vegetarian. He reacted immediately and summoned a golden magic shield with a wave of his hand, covering his whole body. The third elder of the Han family is a battle mage. This is an extremely special profession. Although it is a mage, it can fight in close combat like a warrior. And his core skill is this magic shield. Magic points can be spent to block damage. It is precisely with this skill that the battle mage can be as powerful as a melee profession like the warrior knight while mainly adding mental attributes. What surprised everyone was, the shield of the third elder of the Han family only lasted for a second before it shattered. The third elder of the Han family was completely dumbfounded. You must know that he is a battle mage who has just broken through level 30. The powerful magic value is more than 30,000. Magic shield can offset damage 1. In other words, the magic shield can withstand at least 30,000 damage. However, the Lu Fan in front of him actually used only one move to make his magic shield disappear in a second. This can only mean one thing. Lu Fan's will o the wisp's damage per second has exceeded 30,000. This is really scary. You know, even a level 40 output profession would find it difficult to deal such exaggerated damage. What's even more terrifying is that the flame is still burning after shattering the magic shield. In other words, this is actually a continuous damage skill. Looking at the health bar that was about to disappear in an instant, the third elder of the Han family immediately took out the elixir from the bottom of the box. 4th grade elixir, blood nourishing and rejuvenating elixir. This is the ceiling in the blood restoring medicine. Used to instantly restore 100% health. There is also a 4th grade elixir, Qingling Weiqi powder. Go back to the ceiling in the blue medicine. Used to instantly restore 100% of your magic value. As 4th grade elixirs, these two elixirs are extremely valuable. Each one costs at least 20 million yuan. It is a necessary elixir for high-level powerhouses to fight in battles. But due to the high price and staying in the comfort zone, the third elder of the Han family only had a blood-nourishing and rejuvenating pill and a Qingling Qi reviving powder in his backpack. At this moment of life and death, the third elder of the Han family did not dare to slack off at all. He took out the two pills together and took them immediately. The health and magic points are instantly filled up. The magic shield also reappeared. At the same time, the two nurses and wet nurses of the Han family behind them also came to their senses and immediately began to increase the health and status of the third elder. At this time, Lu Fan had his hands in his pockets and an indifferent look on his face. He knew very well that under his ghost fire, no matter what the other party did, it would be in vain. Only a few seconds later, the third elder of the Han family was burned to ashes amidst everyone's horrified looks. With 2 4th grade elixirs and 2 wet nurses to assist him, he died before even 5 seconds. And Lu Fan seems to only use one skill. Horrible, terrible. President Shu stood far away from the beginning of the battle. After seeing the third elder of the Han family being killed, he was so frightened that he turned around and ran away. Because I was too scared, I stumbled and fell several times while running. At the same time, the huge movement caused more and more people to watch on the street. Even the streets near the auction were blocked. What happened to that pillar of fire that shot into the sky just now? It was so spectacular. I don't know. It is said that it seems to be a skill issued by the young master of the Lu family. Hey, brother in front, what did you say? The third elder of the Han family was killed by Lu Fan. What is going on now? Where is the body? It's all burned to ashes, and there's still Mao's body. For a time, the melon-eating crowd was talking a lot. Lu Fan ignored the noise around him and just turned around and entered the collection pavilion again. But this time, he took away Hong Fei, who was in a state of confusion. What's wrong, concubine Hong, are you so surprised? Lu Fan said calmly. At this time, concubine Hong had already lost her third soul to 7 souls. She nodded dully and said tremblingly, are you really Master Lu, or are you just another person who just took Master Lu's body? Ha ha ha. Lu Fan was completely amused by these words. What are you thinking about? You have a mole on your chest and right hip. This is not something others can know, right? As soon as these words came out, the red concubine smiled shyly. We'll talk about this later. First tell me where the second level breakthrough certificate is. Concubine Hong was startled and said in surprise, how do you know we have the second level breakthrough certificate? Lu Fan smiled coldly. Why would he know? That was naturally because in his previous life, he clearly remembered that in order to curry favor with the Han family, Chairman Shu of the auction personally presented the treasure of the town meeting, the second level breakthrough certificate. It's just that Lu Fan went up to the 6th floor of the collection pavilion just now, but he didn't find it. The second level breakthrough certificate is a must for professionals at level 19 to break through to level 20. Only Lord level monsters that kill level 20 dungeons with a difficulty level or above will have a small chance of dropping rare items. Although the second level breakthrough certificate is only 1 level higher than the first level breakthrough certificate. But there is no comparison between the two in terms of rarity. The first level breakthrough certificate has a probability of being dropped by the boss of the level 10 dungeon. It's just that the higher the difficulty, the greater the probability of falling. But for the second level breakthrough certificate, it requires a level 20 dungeon and a boss difficulty level above the difficulty level. You must know that in the entire Kangnan City, there are not many professionals above level 20, and there are no more than 10 teams that can pass level 20 and the difficulty is above the difficult level. Therefore, it is conceivable that the rarity of the second level breakthrough certificate is the ceiling in Kangnan City. It is for this reason that in this city, there are very few people who can truly break through level 20. Level 20 is the dividing line between the strong and ordinary people. As long as you can break through level 20, you will at least be the leader of a party, the leader of a small family, or the president of a union. It is precisely for this reason that President Shu regards it as a treasure of the town meeting. Where Lu Fan didn't explain, he still said the word coldly. After seeing Lu Fan's strength, Concubine Hong has gradually realized that the most potential person in Kangnan City today may not be the Han Yanlin of the Han family, but the Lu Fan in front of her whose mind is extremely inconsistent with his age. In other words, if she could build a good relationship with Lu Fan now, then the Red Concubine might have a towering tree to rely on in the future. By then, who would dare to bully me? Concubine Hong looked at Lu Fan and said firmly, in the hidden secret room on the top floor of the collection pavilion. Hidden secret room. Lu Fan was a little surprised. He didn't expect that there was such a mystery in this collection pavilion. The most precious things in the auction are hidden there. No one else knows about them except President Shu and me, the second boss. After speaking, Concubine Hong took the initiative to hold Lu Fan's hand and walked upstairs. Arriving on the 6th floor, Concubine Hong opened the mechanism and a secret door appeared. Enter the password, press the fingerprint lock, and the secret door opens. Lu Fan looked up and was shocked. There are a dazzling array of rare treasures piled inside. Not only does it have 3 second-level breakthrough certificates and nearly 100 4th-level elixirs, but it also has an epic magic set. Chapter 11. The quality of the equipment is divided into ordinary, white, excellent, green, fine, blue, epic, purple, legendary, gold, peerless, orange, immortal, cyan, fantasy, pink, myth, red. Epic level, and there are 4 pieces. This surprised Lu Fan a little. He didn't expect that this small auction would hide such quality equipment. Looking at the world, epic equipment may not be rare. But in the land of Kangnan City, it is like a bright star, hanging high in the sky, out of reach. Compared with the second-level breakthrough certificate, the rarity of this epic equipment is 1 level higher. Because epic equipment only has a chance to explode in the Nightmare difficulty dungeon of level 20. The Nightmare difficulty of level 20 is the highest difficulty of the Wild Dungeon in Kangnan City. The attributes of the monsters in it are several times that of ordinary dungeons, and they will also have additional special skills. Although it is still marked as a level 20 dungeon on the surface, in fact, even if a team of strong people above level 30 is formed, if they are not careful, they will be wiped out. The previous head of the Lu family, as well as many elites from the 3 great families, all died in this dungeon, so no one dares to set foot here easily now. It is for this reason that epic equipment becomes more and more precious. It can be said that even the heads of the 3 great families would not have more than 10 pieces. Without further ado, Lu Fan directly took 4 pieces of epic equipment. Spirit Breaking Scepter, level requirement 20, Spirit plus 500. Spirit Breaking Armor, level requirement 20, Spirit plus 100, Endurance plus 300, Constitution plus 100. Spirit Breaking Belt, level requirement 20, Spirit plus 100, Constitution plus 400. Spirit Breaking Cloth Shoes, level requirement 20, Spirit plus 100, Agility plus 300, Endurance plus 100. Spirit Breaking Set, 4 pieces, Spirit Attribute plus 5%, Skill Damage plus 5%. Only equipment above the epic level has a set effect. Lu Fan actually does not lack attributes, but the percentage bonus of the set effect is the key point. However, Lu Fan is not at a high enough level to wear it for the time being. Hong Fei, where did this epic suit come from? Where else could it come from? President Shu collected them one by one from the outside. Collect? Why doesn't he wear it himself? I don't dare. I'm afraid that people from the 3 great families will snatch it away after I wear it. Quote. Yes, although President Shu has a lot of money, he is not strong enough. If he is really found to have these 4 epic magic equipment, he will definitely be targeted by the 3 great families. Finally, Lu Fan put the second-level breakthrough certificate in his pocket and prepared to leave. At this time, the phone suddenly rang. It was his father calling. What's wrong, father? Lu Bei sighed on the other end of the phone. Lu Fan, come to Lu's building. There is something. Got it. Lu Fan hung up the phone and raised a sneer at the corner of his mouth. He knew that it was time to face those who looked down on him. In his previous life, he didn't know that burning corpses could awaken the Lord of the Netherworld. So he was really expelled from the family as a waste, and the Han family also broke off the engagement. He would never forget that humiliation and helplessness. In this life, he would make all those people pay the price. Lu Fan jumped down from the window on the 6th floor, and drove away in the Lu family's Rolls-Royce in the surprised eyes of passers-by. 10 minutes later, Lu Fan arrived at the top floor of the Lu's building. The originally noisy environment fell into silence in an instant. Everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Fan, who was walking slowly. Lu Fan, you waste, you are finally here. Do you know how many people are waiting for you? Han Tianai shouted angrily. Lu Fan sneered, ignored his existence, walked straight to his father Lu Bei, and asked knowingly. Father, what did you call me for? Lu Bei looked at Lu Fan, clenched his fists, and his body trembled slightly. I'm sorry, son, it's your father who is useless. If your father had the strength, you wouldn't have to. Lu Fan patted his father on the back and said, Father, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Han Yanlin, who was standing by, had lost her patience. She stood up, picked up the marriage cancellation agreement on the table, and threw it hard on Lu Fan's face, with a cold tone. Lu Fan, your father is embarrassed to say it, so let me say it. This is the marriage cancellation agreement. Today, our Han family came here to find you to cancel the engagement. Since she awakened her S-level talent and was accepted as an apprentice by Professor Zhuang of Qingyan Academy, Han Yanlin's mentality has changed dramatically. Now she thinks highly of herself and doesn't want to have anything to do with this waste. Han Yanlin felt sick when she thought that she was the fiancé of this waste. Seeing Han Yanlin suddenly attack, the faces of the Lu and Han families showed a look of watching a good show. Especially the elder of the Lu family, Lu Moji, the sneer on his face was not concealed at all. My son was forced to break off the engagement, Lu Bei, let's see what you will do now. ! Lu Moji sneered. However, the next second, Lu Fan picked up the marriage cancellation agreement, without even looking at it, and tore it to pieces. Everyone was stunned. Lu Fan, what are you doing? Han Yanlin shouted angrily. Lu Fan was not in a hurry. He took out a piece of paper that he had prepared long ago from his pocket and threw it over. Han Yanlin took it and looked at it, and her face immediately turned red with anger. It was actually a divorce note. Sentence of divorce. Lu Fan, are you kidding? You want to divorce me? Han Yanlin's voice trembled with excitement. She didn't expect that this Lu Fan usually had good grades in school, so how could he be so stupid? Haven't you figured out the difference between the two yet? Lu Fan, you kid is out of your mind. What qualifications do you have to divorce our young lady? You're an F-level trash. If it weren't for the sake of the Lu family, I would kill you right now. A toad actually wants to divorce a swan. You deserve it too. Everyone in the Han family looked angry and pointed out that Lu Fan just cursed. Han Tianai even roared angrily. Lu Zontian, you still don't care about this kid. If not, don't blame me for taking care of it for you. Lu Zontian had already lost all face. He no longer wanted to care about this nonsense, and said coldly. As the head of the Lu family, I declare that Lu Fan will be expelled from the family. From now on, Lu Fan has nothing to do with the Lu family. If he wants to kill or cut into pieces, the Lu family will not interfere anymore. Okay, this is what you said. Come here, arrest this loser Lu Fan. I will make him regret his behavior for the rest of his life. The words fell. The two Han family thugs walked quickly towards Lu Fan. When Lu Bei saw this, he immediately stood up and blocked him. Master Han, it was my son who was wrong just now. I apologize to you on his behalf. We will sign the divorce agreement. We will sign it. It's too late now that I know it's signed. Can a loser like him insult our Yanlin? Lu Bei, if you dare to stop me, I'll take care of you too. However, Han Tianai had just finished speaking. Lu Fan raised his hand and fired 2 ghostly fires, instantly burning the 2 Han family thugs who were coming towards him to ashes. Old dog Han, I gave you face, didn't I? Silence. Deathly silence. Everyone was stunned in place, unable to realize what was going on. In other words, they couldn't believe what they just saw. 2 level 19 thugs were instantly killed by Lu Fan with one move. How can this be? Only Lu Fan stepped forward slowly and said coldly. Han Yanlin, obediently sign your divorce letter, and I will let you go. Otherwise, I will destroy the entire Han family. What did you say? Han Yanlin looked in disbelief. Didn't you hear that clearly? Lu Fan raised his hand and struck another member of the Han family who was yelling with a ghostly fire. I saw this man being burned to ashes without even making a sound. Is this clear enough? Lu Fan said coldly. This time everyone could see clearly that the green fireball was indeed shot by Lu Fan. And the member of the Han family who was killed just now was a level 26 warrior. How is it possible? How could an F-class waste who just changed jobs have such horrific injuries? Wait, this guy's level. After releasing the skill, Lu Fan's level information was gradually revealed. Level 15. What's the situation? Didn't this guy change jobs just today? At level 15, even if it is an A-level talent, it will take at least a year to reach it. Han Yanlin's pupils shrank, unable to understand what was happening in front of her. Lu Fan is obviously a waste, but she is a genius. But why does it seem to be the other way around now? Lu Bei stood behind Lu Fan with a complicated expression. Could it be that Lu Fan really inherited his mother's career? That unique profession? This kid is weird. Everyone, come together and kill this kid. Yes. As soon as the words fell, everyone in the Han family rose up to attack, rushing towards Lu Fan like a tide. Lu Fan, be careful. Lu Bei said worriedly behind him. Father, don't worry. Lu Fan smiled coldly and pressed his right hand hard to the ground. Summon the Hades. Suddenly, a strange summoning circle appeared on the ground. The complicated spell lines were burning with strange underworld fire. Immediately afterwards, a huge Hades dog with a height of 3 meters and eyes glowing with green fire emerged from it. Pluto. Power, 500. Agility, 500. Endurance, 8,240. Summoner Spirit 2. Spirit, 0. Physique, 41,200. Summoner Spirit 10. HP, 412,000. Magic value, 0. Pluto dog active skill. Taunt level 1. Roar to cause enemies within 10 meters to forcefully attack itself. Magic value consumption, 0. Cooldown, 0 seconds. Pluto passive skill. Damage transfer level 1 transfers the damage received by the summoner to himself. When the Hell Dog appears, he roars and uses active skills to taunt. As a result, all the attacks of the surrounding Han family members were forced to hit the ghost dog. However, as a human shield type summon, the physical attributes are 10 times that of Lu Fan's spirit. He is simply so meaty that he has no friends. The skills of everyone in the Han family hit the ghost dog's body, and there was almost no change in the health bar. Seeing the sudden appearance of the Hades dog, everyone in the Han family was completely panicked. Han Tianai also looked horrified. You must know that among the Han family members, he and the 3 elders are all over 30 levels of powerhouses, while the other nearly 100 clan members are all level 20 elites. But everyone's attacks hit the summoned beast together, and the health bar was almost not reduced at all. Even the boss of the level 20 nightmare dungeon, the Scorched Corpse King, probably doesn't have this kind of meat. Etc. Where is the 3rd elder? Only then did Han Tianai realize that the 3rd elder had not returned, and he couldn't help but feel a little thump in his heart. If my guess is correct, the 3rd elder may have died in the hands of this kid Lu Fan. Han Tianai looked ferocious and cursed angrily. Lu Fan, did you sign a devil's contract and sell your soul to the devil? Demon contract, sell your soul to the abyss demon, and gain powerful demonic power in a short period of time. But when the time comes, the soul will be taken away by the devil of the abyss, and he will be transformed into a monster forever and be driven by him. As soon as Han Tianai said this, everyone nodded in agreement. Although this reason is far-fetched, demons will not take the souls of the weak. But now it seems that this is the only reason that can be explained. Lu Fan smiled coldly and ignored Han Tianai at all, but looked at Han Yanlin again. Han Yanlin, if you don't sign Hugh's book, the next person to die will be your father Han Tianai. After Lu Fan finished speaking, the ghostly fire rose up again on his right hand. The eerie green flames made everyone in the Han family couldn't help but take a few steps back. Han Yanlin gritted her teeth, her delicate body trembling. But, after signing this divorce letter, how do you want me to behave in the future, and how do you want my father to gain a foothold in the Han family in the future? You know what to say now. When you came to break off the engagement, why didn't you think about how I will behave in the future? How will my father stand in the future? Han Yanlin was so rebuffed that she was speechless for a moment. Lu Fan, don't be too arrogant, kid. My Yanlin has been accepted as a disciple by Professor Zhuang of Qingyan Academy. Professor Zhuang always protects others. If you dare to mess around, he will never spare you. Han Tianai shouted. What a piece of shit Professor Zhuang is, he's not even worthy of carrying my shoes. As Lu Fan spoke, the ghostly fire in his hand became more and more powerful. Han Yanlin, if you don't sign the divorce letter, you can go and sweep the ashes of your father Han Tianai later. But at this moment, there was a loud laugh outside the building. Ha ha ha, Your Excellency has such an arrogant tone. You dare to say that my master is not worthy of carrying your shoes. Everyone looked out through the windows. I saw a man wearing Qingyan Academy uniform and holding a flaming red feather fan, standing proudly on top of a firebird. The flaming bird rises on the wind. Could this man be Professor Zhuang's favorite disciple, Wu Qi? Ha 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 ha, I didn't expect that someone in this small town would know my name. I'm really lucky. The man named Wu Qi jumped in from the window of the building, glanced at the whole place and said, In the name of Master, I am here to take a junior sister named Han Yanlin back to Qingyan Academy. I don't know which one of you is responsible. Han Yanlin was overjoyed when she heard this. At this time, she remembered the message from her master earlier, saying that someone would be sent to pick her up and go to the academy in advance to familiarize herself with the environment. But what I didn't expect was that it would come so quickly. This time it's saved. Senior brother Wu Qi, it's me. I'm Han Yanlin. Come and save me. Wu Qi looked for fame and was instantly stunned by Han Yanlin's beauty. I didn't expect there to be such a beautiful woman in the world. Master understood me and gave me such a beautiful job. He licked his lips and said with a lewd smile, Little junior sister, don't worry, senior brother will come to save you right now. Get out of here or die. Lu Fan said coldly. Quote? Wu Qi was stunned for a moment, his expression turned gloomy, and he sternly said to Lu Fan. If I'm not mistaken, you were the one who insulted my master just now, right? How is it? Lu Fan had an indifferent look on his face, not taking the other party seriously at all. A mere 15th level novice dares to be so arrogant. Do you know how powerful my master is? As long as he moves his fingers casually, your small city will be destroyed in an instant. When talking about his master, Wu Qi's face was full of pride. Lu Fan sneered. I said, you are not even worthy of carrying my shoes. Wu Qi, is this kid an idiot? He doesn't understand the situation and still pretends to be cool. Han Tianai and the Han family laughed secretly on the side. Lu Fan actually dared to insult Professor Zhuang in front of Wu Qi, he was simply courting death. Although they didn't know why Lu Fan was so weird, no matter what, he couldn't be the opponent of Wu Qi in front of him. After all, he was Professor Zhuang's favorite student. You kid really won't cry until you see the coffin, right? Wu Qi said, showing his level information and occupation information. Level 39, Elemental Fire Mage, Talent S level. Boy, open your eyes and look carefully. The gap between you and me is like a chasm. If I want to take your life, it will only take a moment. If Master hadn't repeatedly told me not to cause trouble before I left, you would have been burned to ashes by me now. Now as long as you kneel down and kowtow to apologize and admit your mistakes, I can treat you as young and ignorant and let you go. Otherwise, don't blame me for bullying the weak. Wu Qi waved the fire fan in his hand with an arrogant look. He was used to seeing young people like Lu Fan in the academy. You should know that Qingyan Academy is full of geniuses, and there are countless arrogant young people. So Wu Qi didn't feel much in his heart about Lu Fan's insult, and he didn't kill him directly. After all, as a disciple of Professor Zhuang, his words and deeds represent Professor Zhuang. If he killed people casually when being insulted, it would affect the teacher's image if it got out. Seeing that senior brother Wu Qi was so majestic and confident of victory, Han Yanlin also showed a proud look on her face. Lu Fan, let's see how arrogant you are now. You want to divorce me just because you are a waste. You are just dreaming. Now that senior brother is backing me up, I will have someone reprint the marriage annulment agreement and ask you to kneel down and sign it obediently. Lu Zontian, the head of the Lu family, was trembling in his seat at this time. He didn't expect that Lu Fan, this kid, dared to offend Qingyun Academy and Professor Zhuang. The Lu family is afraid that they will be exterminated now. Ancestors, if you know it in the afterlife, you must not blame me. Everything is caused by this Lu Fan. Perhaps now only Lu Base in the audience knows how strong Lu Fan is now. After all, he saw the strength of Lu Fan's mother with his own eyes back then. Lu Fan's face was indifferent, and a sneer hung at the corner of his mouth. Just because of you, you are worthy of asking me to kneel down and kowtow to apologize. Question mark. Just because of you, you are worthy of bullying in front of me. Question mark. Today, I will let you see what bullying is. After Lu Fan said this, he threw a ghost fire from his right hand towards Wu Qi. At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded again. They didn't expect Lu Fan to dare to take the initiative to attack. You know, this person is a strong man of level 39. And he is also the proud disciple of Professor Zhuang of Qingyun Academy. Isn't this courting death? Wu Qi saw that Lu Fan actually took the initiative to attack, and couldn't help but show a sinister smile on his face. Since you choose to do it yourself, you must have made up your mind, so you can't blame me. Wu Qi waved the fire fan in his right hand and shot out 3 chain fireballs. This is his most basic skill, chain fireballs. Each one can cause spiritual 250% damage, and there is a 15% chance of causing spell critical hits. Although it was the most basic skill, Wu Qi thought that the damage was enough to deal with a level 15 Lu Fan, and it would even overflow. At this time, the Hades dog sensed the danger of its master. With a sideways move, it blocked Lu Fan. Wu Qi laughed at him with contempt again. A level 15 rookie summoned beast also wants to block my fireball. Wu Qi saw this Hades dog early in the morning, although it looked a bit bluffing. But being in Qingyun Academy, he had seen such scary-looking summoned beasts before. But in the end, no matter how exaggerated the appearance of the summoned beast is, the ultimate strength still depends on the summoner. Even one of the fireballs was enough to destroy the big dog, and the other 2 took Lu Fan away, which was perfect. Thinking of being able to show off in front of such a beautiful junior sister, Wu Qi couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. Lu Fan, right, this time I really have to thank you, silly boy, for helping me get closer to my junior sister. But in the next second, the scene in front of them shocked everyone again. The ghost dog stood in front of Lu Fan and easily blocked 3 fireballs. This made Wu Qi dumbfounded. What the hell, is there a bug? I can't kill a level 15 summoned beast with one skill at level 39. However, before Wu Qi could recover from the shock, Lu Fan's ghost fire had already landed on him. But he didn't care too much. After all, a level 15 rookie couldn't cause much damage to him no matter what. What's more, when he broke through level 20, he also awakened his talent, Fire Control Armor. Reduce fire spell damage by 20%. Therefore, after seeing that Lu Fan was casting a fire spell, he didn't panic at all. But in the next second, he found that his health bar had dropped by a quarter. Hold the grass. What the hell is going on? In doubt, the health bar decreased again, only half left. Still hurting. Wu Qi was also a little panicked at this moment. He realized that he had completely underestimated Lu Fan's damage. Like the third elder of the Han family, Lu Fan did not dare to hesitate at all. He immediately took out the 4th grade elixir, took the blood reviving elixir, and his blood bar was instantly full. When Han Tianai saw that the situation was not good, he immediately shouted, "All the priests and wet nurses in the Han family, come up to me and help me." Yes. After hearing the order, a dozen men and women standing behind the Han family quickly stepped forward and cast healing spells on Wu Qi. With the help of this group of people, Wu Qi's blood volume was actually stabilized. Wu Qi let out a low roar, and flames billowed on the fire fan in his hand. The terrifying flame fluctuations caused the surrounding temperature to rise by more than 10 degrees. Gorgeous fire ball. Wu Qi's fire fan swung violently and fired a huge blazing fireball. Minggu sensed the danger and stood in front of Lu Fan again. When Wu Qi saw this, he couldn't help but sneer. Lu Fan, you coward, doesn't think this stupid dog can stop you for the rest of your life. Do you want me to break it? I saw a huge fireball hitting the Hades dog, and actually penetrated directly through it. It's actually a rare penetrating spell. Han Tianai exclaimed from the side. Wu Qi laughed proudly. That's right. This is the strongest skill I learned at level 30. Not only can it penetrate, the damage is even explosive. Even in Qingyan Academy, there are not many people below level 40 who can resist. Lu Fan, no matter how awesome you are, you will still be a level 15 mage if you fight to death. Since your damage is so high, your attribute points must be all added to your spirit, so your physique must be very low. Let me see what you can do with this move. However, Lu Fan only saw a cold smile and pushed his father aside. He walked towards the fireball calmly. The next second, everyone's jaw dropped. I saw Lu Fan pass through the fireball unharmed. Not only was he not killed instantly, but his health bar was not moved at all and was still full of blood. What's happening here? Impossible. What the hell is going on with this guy? Wu Qi was also completely confused by this scene. You must know that the fireball move he just made is his strongest skill. Not only is it penetrating range damage, the damage is as high as 50,000. This is without critical hits. It's impossible to say that it can't draw even a little blood. However, only Lu Fan knew that this was because of the passive skill of Hell Dog, damage transfer. All the damage from the previous move was transferred to the Hades. It has to be said that the other party is indeed Professor Zhuang's favorite student of Qingyan Academy. The damage from the move just now was indeed explosive. After triggering the spell critical strike, it actually caused nearly 100,000 points of damage. Even the Hell Dog's health bar was so strong that it was knocked down by a quarter. But now everyone's attention is on Lu Fan. No one looked at the Stygian dog's health bar at all. Lu Fan smiled coldly. Hey, I'm a talented student from Qingyan Academy. What do you call your strongest skill? Wu Qi wanted to say something, but found that he couldn't find any words to refute. Moreover, the cooldown time of his powerful fireball is as long as 20 seconds. If you want to fire it again immediately to see the situation, you can't do it. At this time, Lu Fan's ghostly ghost fire rose up again in his right hand and threw it towards a priest behind the Han family, instantly burning him to ashes. Whoever dares to add blood to Wu Qi again will suffer the consequences. As soon as these words came out, the priests and wet nurses of the Han family were all frightened and stepped back, not daring to make any further moves. As the priests and nannies stopped, Wu Qi's health bar quickly decreased again. Only then did Wu Qi remember that he still had ghostly ghost fire hanging on his body. Hold the grass. How come this will-o'-the-wisp lasts so long? Seeing this, Wu Qi had no choice but to take out the elixir he had packed at the bottom of the box. The 5th grade elixir, the concentration and dust cleansing elixir. Use it to remove all continuous damage status on the body, such as burning, poisoning, bleeding, electric shock, etc. It is worth noting that the elixir will develop resistance when taken continuously, and its effect will gradually be reduced. For example, the first use of the blood rejuvenation pill can restore 100% of health. But the second pill taken in a row can only restore 90% of health. Wu Qi didn't dare to delay, so he took 2 pills at the same time, hoping to save his life. But the next second, he was dumbfounded again. This ghostly ghost fire has not been purified by the concentrating soul cleansing pill. Still burning. How is this possible? You must know that this is a 5th grade elixir, the concentrating soul cleansing pill. Even the flames released by his teacher can be easily purified. Wu Qi was completely panicked now. If this will-o'-the-wisp continues to burn like this, he will definitely die. However, at this moment, to everyone's surprise, Lu Fan's father, Lu Base, walked out. He raised his hands, and a white light flashed on Wu Qi's body. It actually purified Lu Fan's ghostly ghost fire. Even Lu Fan was a little surprised at this moment. He didn't expect his usually low-key father to have such an ability. Lu Base turned back to look at Lu Fan, shook his head and said, Lu Fan, you can't kill this person, otherwise you will offend Qingyan Academy and the famous Professor Flame King Zhuang. Lu Fan was startled, but he didn't expect his father to take action because he was worried about this. When Wu Qi heard this, he couldn't help but feel proud again. Do you know how scared you are now? Let me tell you, this matter is not over today. Especially you, Lu Fan, I must let you know what will happen if you offend me. After Wu Qi said that, he jumped out of the window, landed on the Firebird, and prepared to run back to Qingyan Academy. I didn't say you could leave. Lu Fan doesn't want it. Lu Fan ignored his father's obstruction, and another ghostly fire hit Wu Qi's body. Wu Qi panicked and immediately looked at Lu Base, asking him to perform purification again. But Lu Beis's purification skill requires 30 seconds of cooling, so there's nothing he can do about it. With no other choice, Wu Qi took out the elixir again to restore blood. His family background is impressive, so the number of blood-restoring elixirs in his backpack is considerable. I thought that I could only use pills to hold on and escape quickly, and find the nearest hospital to seek professional doctors to extend my life. But what he didn't expect was that at the same time, Lu Fan was struck again by another ghostly fire. Something terrible happened. The damage of the two will-o'-the-wisps actually overlapped. The horrific injury caused Wu Qi to lose his resistance in an instant and turned into ashes in front of everyone's horrified eyes. The Firebird also shattered into countless sparks due to the summoner's death, floating in the air. Wu Qi, he's dead. I actually killed him. This guy is too courageous. This guy is Professor Zhuang's favorite disciple. At this time, Lu Fan looked like an evil ghost from the underworld in everyone's eyes. Killing indiscriminately without any scruples. Their eyes gradually changed from contempt at the beginning to fear. It seemed as if the next target of that weird green fire would be himself. Lu Fan ignored the people around him and turned his head again to look at Han Yanlin, who was shivering at the side. How about it? Now, you can sign this divorce letter. Han Yanlin nodded fearfully. At this moment, after experiencing some ups and downs, she was already on the verge of collapse. Facing Lu Fan's request, he didn't even dare to disobey it. But just when Han Yanlin picked up the pen and signed the first word tremblingly, she suddenly saw something, and the pen in her hand stopped in the air. Han Yanlin's eyes widened, and she was extremely shocked. Divorce your wife as a concubine. This is actually not only a letter of divorce, but also a letter of concubinage. Lu Fan, I am the daughter of the Han family, and you actually want me to be your concubine. Han Yanlin looked up at Lu Fan and said with shame and anger. Everyone in the audience looked in disbelief. You must know that the three major aristocratic families have dominated Kangnan City for hundreds of years, and all clan members feel that they have a noble status in their hearts. The married daughter has never been a concubine. But now Lu Fan not only divorced Han Yanlin, but also asked her to be his concubine. This was like stepping on Han Yanlin and the Han family's faces and rubbing them on the ground. From now on, the Han family may never be able to hold their heads high again. Lu Fan glanced at Han Yanlin, who was ashamed and angry, and said coldly. Being a concubine is a compliment to you. If you don't want to, then become a slave. You. Han Yanlin's eyes were filled with tears and she was so choked that she could not speak. Lu Fan looked at the beauty in front of him crying, without any pity in his heart. As a human being, he, Lu Fan, must avenge his enemies and repay his favors. How Han Yanlin and the Han family humiliated him in the last life, in this life, he just paid back double the amount. Seeing Han Yanlin hesitate again, Lu Fan sneered. If you really value honor and integrity, I won't embarrass you. As long as you jump off the top floor, I will let the Han family go and never break my promise. How about that? As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was shocked. Everyone in the Han family focused their attention on Han Yanlin. Many people even started whispering, divorcing your wife as a concubine will really bring shame on our Han family. It's terrible. I didn't agree to come to the Lu family to break off the engagement. Now things have turned out like this. It's really terrible. Who says it's not the case? I've always known Lu Fan to be smart since he was a child. How can I cancel this marriage? Now that this girl has ended up like this, I think it's all her own fault. It is your own fault and you will not live. To be honest, I hope she just jumps off, so that the Han family's face can be saved, and Lu Fan will promise to let us go, killing two birds with one stone. Shish, just think about it in your mind, but don't let the head of the family hear it. At this time, Han Tianai finally stood up and roared, Lu Fan. It was all my idea to break off the engagement today, and Yanlin was forced by me. Don't embarrass her. If anything happens, come to me. Lu Fan sneered. He threw the ghost fire in his hand in front of Han Tianai. That's fine, you can walk into this will-o'-the-wisp by yourself, and I'll let everyone else go. Han Tianai was stunned for a moment and looked at his daughter on the ground and the Han family behind him. He actually walked slowly towards the Netherworld ghost fire. Lu Fan, you keep your word. As long as I die, you will let them go. Well, that's right. Lu Fan nodded. Unexpectedly, Han Tianai still had some backbone, and he was much stronger than Lu Zontian in this regard. No, father, I sign this. I sign. I am willing to be a slave or a maid. When Han Yanlin saw this, her heart completely collapsed. She picked up a pen and signed her name. Yes, concubine Han, remember to come to my house at night. Han Yanlin was startled. What did you say? Don't you understand? Come to my house tonight and serve me. You, what? Do you think it's so easy to be a concubine? You don't have to work. If you dare not come, I will still destroy the whole Han family. Lu Fan said and pinched Han Yanlin's face hard, then turned around and came to Han Tianai again. From today on, the Han family becomes a subordinate family of the Lu family, and half of their monthly income must be handed over to the Lu family. Do you understand? What are you talking about? This is too bullying, even Yanlin signed it. Han Tianai looked aggrieved. So what? What I just said is that Han Yanlin jumped from here, so I let you go. The signature is just to save your lives. What? Han Lagu, you don't want to refuse, do you? Quote. As Lu Fan spoke, the will-o'-the-wisp rose again in his hand. Han Tianai was so frightened that he took several steps back. Han Tianai understood that now he was not qualified to refuse at all, so he could only nod in agreement. When the head of the Lu family, Lu Zontian, saw this, his face instantly lit up with joy. He didn't expect that Lu Fan could still think about the Lu family. You must know that the Han family's annual income is at least tens of billions. If you collect half of it, the Lu family will take off immediately. From now on, Kangnan City will no longer have 3 pillars, but my Lu family will be the only one. My ancestors are on my side. I, Lu Zontian, am worthy of the Lu family, ha ha ha. Lu Zontian stood up and walked to Lu Fan's side, patted his shoulder and laughed. Lu Fan, well done. You are indeed my good grandson. Grandpa really did not misjudge you. I have seen you look like a dragon or a phoenix since you were a child. Quote ? Lu Fan's face instantly darkened, and he raised his hand and slapped Lu Zontian. He just slapped it away. Grandson, Lu Zontian, you are worthy of being my grandfather just because you are a piece of shit. You are worthy of being the head of the Lu family. No one expected that Lu Fan would even take action against Lu Zontian. However, this was not over yet. Lu Fan shouted in a deep voice. I announce that from today on, Lu Zontian will be abolished as the head of the Lu family, and my father, Lu Base, will serve as the new head of the family. As soon as these words came out, the whole place was in an uproar. Abolish Lu Zontian as the head of the family. Explode. Explode. This kid is really a cruel person, he won't even spare his own family. The originally ugly look on Han Tianai's face improved slightly. It seemed that compared to Lu Zontian's fate, he was luckier. Lu Base wanted to say something at this time, but he hesitated. The moment Lu Fan killed Wu Qi, he realized that his son was no longer under his control. At this moment, Lu Fan has transformed into a master. Rebellion against Tiangong. Absolutely rebellion against Tiangong. Lu Zontian got up from the ground, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and roared loudly. Lu Fan, what is your identity and status? What qualifications do you have to depose me? I am the head of the Lu family, why do you have it? Why, of course it's based on this. The ghostly ghost fire rose up in Lu Fan's hand and he continued. Lu Zontian, not only do I want to depose you as the head of the family, I also want to expel you from the family. From today on, you will have nothing to do with the Lu family anymore. What? You? How could you? Lu Zon was almost speechless. You can expel me from the family, why can't I expel you from the family? I'm just doing the same thing in return. How come you can't stand it anymore? Lu Fan, you have to understand that it is not my intention to expel you from the family. Those are the rules set by the ancestors. All awakening talent levels below sea level are the same. Oh, by the way, you didn't tell me that I had forgotten the rules, right? I will abolish this bullshit rule today. From today on, the Lu family will no longer have this clan rule. No matter what the awakening level is, everyone can stay within the clan. You dare to abolish the clan rules passed down by your ancestors for hundreds of years. Lu Zontian was trembling all over, his expression extremely horrified. Lu Fan smiled coldly. From today on, in the Lu family, my rules are the rules. Lu Zontian, give you 1 hour to go back and pack your things, and then get out of the Lu family. If you dare to stay for a moment longer, I will kill you. After Lu Fan said that, he turned around and left. Everything was taken care of, and there was no need for him to waste time here. The top priority is to go to the Wild to Brush dungeons and upgrade to increase attributes. After all, Wu Qi from Qingyan Academy was beaten to death, and the people there will probably come to take revenge soon. But at this moment, his father Lu Base chased him out from behind. Lu Fan, come with me somewhere. It's time to tell you something. What's up? About your mother. Mother. Lu Fan was stunned. The plot this time is actually different from the previous one. You must know that in his previous life, his father never mentioned anything about his mother to Lu Fan. No matter how much Lu Fan asked when he was a child, his father would never say a word. Lu Fan guessed that his mother's presence might have embarrassed his father. The sad Lu Fan became sensible and never asked further questions from then on. But what I didn't expect was that my father would take the initiative to mention it today. After all these years, you are finally willing to tell me. Lu Fan said excitedly. Lu Base sighed and looked around warily. Anyway, come with me first. The two took the elevator downstairs. Lu Base drove Lu Fan away. After a while, the two came to an extremely desolate cemetery. Here it is. Lu Fan seemed to vaguely guess something. Yes, it's your mother's grave. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Lu Base led Lu Fan to a pile of rocks. This is it. Lu Fan looked at the desolate scene and the pile of rocks in front of him, and tears instantly welled up in his eyes. Why is my mother only buried in a place like this? What did she do wrong? Lu Base smiled bitterly and shook his head. She did nothing wrong. On the contrary, she was great. She used her own life to save this world that was about to be devoured by monsters. What did you say? Lu Fan looked at his father in disbelief. He felt that this was a joke, but his father's expression was extremely serious. Lu Base sighed again, took out a shovel from his backpack and started digging. Lu Fan was dumbfounded. Father, what are you going to do? Dig a grave. Lu Fan was stunned again. Father, I can't help but say something to you when you say this. Mother left something for me. Why didn't you mention it before? Why didn't you give it to me earlier? It's not that I don't give it, it's that your mother told you before she died that if you haven't awakened to that profession, then don't mention anything about her to you, otherwise it will only lead to death. Lu Fan was stunned again. Is that the profession you mentioned? You have awakened, you should know, it is the Lord of the Netherworld. Lu Beis's expression did not waver at all, and he continued to dig while waving the shovel in his hand. But Lu Fan was so shocked that his whole body was trembling. How do you know that Lord of the Netherworld? This is the only hidden profession in the world. Wait, can you tell me? Lu Fan seemed to have thought of something, and his whole body felt as if he was struck by lightning. Yes, your mother is the previous Nether Lord. It's actually like this. In other words, this profession is still hereditary. Okay, stop talking nonsense, come over and dig together. Quote. Lu Fan raised his hand and directly summoned the Hades dog to appear, using its huge claws to help dig together. Soon a huge pit appeared in the ground. A huge black gold ancient coffin lay quietly inside. Lu Fan jumped down the pit excitedly, wanting to open the ancient black gold coffin and take a look at the mother he had never seen since birth. But when he reached out to touch it, a green barrier appeared on the outer layer of the black gold ancient coffin. How is this going? Lu Fan looked at his father in confusion. Liu Base also jumped down and explained. This is the protective barrier your mother set up before her death to prevent others from destroying her bones. So that's the case, then how to open this barrier? Liu Base glanced at the ancient black gold coffin, sighed deeply and said. Lu Fan, only you can break this barrier, or in other words, only the Netherworld Lord's Netherworld ghost fire can break it. Understood. Lu Fan didn't talk nonsense. He raised his hand and hit him with a ghostly fire. As expected, the barrier was swallowed up and dissolved easily. Later, Liu Base came to the ancient black gold coffin and took out a dark green key from the backpack space. Insert it into the hole of the ancient coffin and open the ancient coffin. At this time, Lu Fan finally saw his mother for the first time. The mother's body was well preserved in this special black gold ancient coffin, with no sign of decay. It looked like a normal sleeping person lying in it. The mother's appearance is somewhat similar to Lu Fan's, and she has a slender figure. It is obvious that she is a peerless beauty, etc. At this moment, Lu Fan suddenly saw the small words engraved inside the coffin. Hu Guifan sleeps here forever. Hu Guifan. What is this? Lu Fan was so frightened that he quickly turned back to Liu Base and asked. Father, what is mother's name? Hu Guifan. Liu Base replied sonorously and forcefully. Lu Fan froze on the spot for a moment. He is not only a reborn person, but also a time traveler. How could he not recognize the name Hu Guifan? Father, do you think there is a possibility that I am not your biological child and you have been cheated on? Quote. You are right. I am indeed not your biological father. When I met your mother, she was already pregnant. Lu Fan was numb, completely numb. I really didn't expect that this bloody script would actually happen to me. But at this moment, he didn't want to dwell on this thing. After all, he himself came from time travel. It doesn't really matter who the biological parents are. Lu Fan patted his father on the shoulder and said. Don't worry, father. In my heart, cultivating kindness is better than creating kindness. No matter what, you will always be my father. Liu Base smiled bitterly and shook his head. I feel honored to be able to meet your mother and become her husband in name. Lu Fan took a deep breath. Good guy, no matter what, my father is from one of the 3 great aristocratic families. But he is so humble in front of his mother. Okay, Lu Fan, without further ado, use your ghostly ghost fire to burn your mother's body. No, father, you still haven't let go. Don't think too much. It was your mother who hid the relics left for you in her body. You can only get them by burning them with ghost fire. Relic. Lu Fan then remembered that the purpose of their trip was to get his mother's belongings. On his right hand, ghostly fire rose up. Hu Gui, forget it, let's call you mother. Mother, I didn't expect that the first time we met would be the last time we met. I'm offended. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Fan threw in the ghost fire. The terrifying green flames burned wantonly in the ancient coffin, and the body was burned up in a short time. When the flames dissipated, a dark green ring appeared in the ancient coffin. Lu Fan looked up and was shocked. Red quality. Level 100 mythical equipment. Oh my god. At the same time, in the presidential suite on the top floor of the 5-star hotel Heaven and Earth, Baia had woken up and was applying bright red lipstick to her lips in front of the mirror. Beside her, stood a man in black robes. Lu Moji, why don't you stay at the Lu family and come to my place? Aren't you afraid that your identity will be exposed? Baia said coldly while smearing her lips. Gia, Hall Master Bai, did you find anything after having love with Master Lu? I checked, and the ring is not on him. Gia, that's right. I came here to tell Hall Master Bai that Liu Base took Lu Fan and left secretly just now. If my prediction is correct, the ring should be released. When Baia heard this, she immediately stopped what she was doing. It seems like Lu Fan is indeed the son of the Nether Empress. Then what are you waiting for? Let's set off immediately. After Baia said that, she put on the miniskirt and left. But he was stopped by Lu Moji. Gia, Hall Master Bai, are you planning to go there with just the two of us? What's wrong? Is there any problem? Lu Moji smiled and shook his head. Hall Master Bai, you really don't read the messages on your phone at all. Now Lu Fan has awakened and has extraordinary strength. Even the 39th level disciples of Qingyan Academy were killed by him. Now it's just you and me. I'm afraid it's a bit risky, right? Adventure. Bai Jia smiled coldly. Lu Moji, I think you have become less courageous after staying in the Lu family for a long time. No matter how strong Lu Fan is, he is only a 10-level professional. Both of us are at level 40. The gap in the middle cannot be made up by professional talent. Having said that, don't forget that Lu Fan's awakening is not an ordinary profession. If you are right, that is the only hidden profession above the SSS level. Even if you and I join forces, I don't think we can win it with 100% certainty. So my suggestion is that we should report this matter to the helmsman in Zhongnan province and ask him to send people for reinforcements to ensure that this mission is foolproof. Quote. As soon as these words came out, Bai Jia's face was filled with contempt. Lu Moji, I really didn't expect you to be so cowardly as a mouse. Facing a newly awakened young man, you actually want to ask the helmsman for help. And you have to understand that once Zhongnan's helmsman gets involved in this matter, we won't get much credit. In short, if you don't dare to go, just tell me the location and I can go by myself. If you get credit, don't worry, I will still give you a share. Lu Moji's eyes rolled, and he nodded after thinking for a moment. Well, what you said does make some sense. I will accompany you on this adventure, but after it is done, you have to satisfy me, how about it? Bai Jia chuckled and nodded. Don't worry, Mr. Lu, as long as this matter is completed smoothly, I will definitely serve you comfortably. But having said that, can you determine their location now? Jia, don't worry, I installed a location virus on Lu Bice's cell phone, and I have his location under my control. Desolate Cemetery. Lu Fan picked up the ring in the ancient coffin with a shocked look on his face. This is a simple dark green ring. Just from its appearance, I can't believe that this is actually a level 100 mythical ring. The bright red name clearly reads, Ring of Hades. Ring of Hades, right ring. Quality, Myth Red. Level requirement, 100. Attribute increase. Spirit plus 100%. Additional special effects. Hades Wrath, spell critical hit plus 100%, critical hit damage plus 100%. Additional special effects. Hades Greed, spell blood sucking plus 100%, priority to replenish own health, overflowing healing amount is divided equally among all summoned beasts. Additional special effects. Hades Contempt, skill damage can directly kill all creatures with a health value below 20%. Additional special effects. Exclusive to Hades, Netherworld professionals can ignore the level requirements and wear them directly. Additional special effects. Hades Guidance can sense the location of other Hades equipment. Pluto Suit, 1/10, inactive. This is the only piece of equipment in the world. Lu Fan looked at the rich entries displayed on the ring and couldn't help but sigh that it was indeed a level 100 mythical equipment, it was simply too powerful. And the most important one is obviously exclusive to Hades. Netherworld professionals can actually ignore the restrictions on equipment level requirements. This means that he can now wear this level 100 equipment at level 15. And there is also information revealed here, that is, in addition to his own Nether Lord, there should be other Nether professions. For example, the Nether Warlock before he awakened at the beginning was probably the worst profession in the Nether system. Without further ado, Lu Fan directly equipped the ring. But at this moment, a woman's cry for help suddenly came from behind. Lu Fan, save me. Someone wants to kill me. Lu Fan turned around and looked, surprised, it was his teacher Bai Jia. Bai Jia was wearing a miniskirt and her plump breasts were swinging up and down while running. Lu Fan and Lu Base were stunned when they saw her. Behind him, a man in black robes was chasing after him. But unexpectedly, the man in black robe dissipated into a black mist the moment he came into contact with the will-o'-the-wisp. This is a clone. Lu Fan had been familiar with various job introductions for 3 years in high school, and he knew very well that the man in black robe who disappeared just now was not a real person. At this time, Bai Jia had already run to Lu Fan's side, panting and saying, Lu Fan, thank you very much. I thought I was dead. Teacher, what's going on? As soon as he finished speaking, 3 more black energy arrows were shot from a distance. Mingu sensed the danger and stood directly in front of Lu Fan. Boom boom boom. 3 energy arrows hit the Hades dog, knocking out nearly half of its health. That's nearly 200,000 points of damage. Because this Hades dog was summoned previously, its attributes have not been updated yet, and its HP is still the previous 400,000. If Lu Fan summoned him now, his health would be 800,000. However, being able to deal nearly 200,000 points of damage, the opponent's strength is obviously stronger than that of Wu Qi before. Wu Qi is a 39th level disciple of Qingyan Academy. If you calculate it this way, then the opponent's level is at least level 40. A level 40 strong man is chasing Baia. Lu Fan suddenly felt something was wrong and turned to look at Baia. Unexpectedly, he found a strange smile on his face. Lu Fan didn't hesitate, raised his hand and summoned a new Hades dog. After putting on the Ring of Hades, Lu Fan's spirit has doubled from the original 4,120 points to 8,240 points. Therefore, the dog's current endurance is 8,240 points, and its health value has been increased to a terrifying 800,000. However, only one Hades dog can exist at a time, so the previous Hades dog disappeared. But at the same time, Baia had used an unknown movement technique to teleport behind Lu Fan. 2 daggers appeared on his hands at some point, and they stabbed Lu Fan hard in the back. The green light flashed on the 2 daggers in Baijia's hands, stabbing Lu Fan in the back. What surprised Lu Fan was that the damage caused by Baijia's blow was even more astonishing, actually causing 300,000 damage. Moreover, he was still in a poisoned state, and his health was decreasing every second. Fortunately, there was a Hades dog to help bear the damage, otherwise this blow would have killed Lu Fan in seconds. As expected of the son of the Netherworld Empress, a mere level 15 can actually block my backstab. This is my strongest skill. Not only can it cause damage equal to agility value *500%, but if it hits the target's back, the damage can be increased by an additional 50%, and it is a 100% critical hit. Lu Fan was stunned when he heard this. You are not a teacher. Who the hell are you? You must know that the Baia he knew was only a wet nurse at level 10 or above. Even those elite level goblins couldn't be defeated. How could he be such a powerful assassin? At this time, Lu Fan saw Baijia's level information. Surprisingly, it is level 45. You know, there is not a single level 40 expert in the entire Kangnan city. Even the heads of the 3 major families are only level 39. There is no other reason than that level 4 breakthrough certificates are too rare. Ordinary people can't get it at all, and they can't even buy it with money. But the level of the person in front of me is actually level 45. This can only explain one problem. That is, the slim and coquettish woman in front of me does not belong to this city at all. You, who are you? Lu Fan reacted quickly. On his right hand, the ghost fire rose fiercely and smashed towards Baia. Lu Fan, what are you talking about? I am your teacher. Baia smiled coldly, and disappeared with a sway of her body, dodging Lu Fan's ghostly fire. Seeing this, Lu Base raised his hand and used a purification blow to help Lu Fan get rid of the poisoned state, and then yelled. Lu Fan, be careful, this woman is a level 45 assassin with very high agility. But before Baia appeared, 3 more dark energy arrows struck from a distance, hitting the newly summoned Hades dog. Due to the enhanced endurance of the Hades, the damage of the 3 energy arrows was also slightly reduced, causing nearly 180,000 damage. But even so, Pluto's health bar was reduced by 480,000, more than half. It has to be said that facing 2 level 40 experts, even Lu Fan, who was wearing the ring, felt a little bit of pressure. The voice of the man in black robes came from the distance. Lu Fan narrowed his eyes and realized that these 2 people were here for the ring. No wonder, there is no reason for a level 40 strong man to appear in a small city like Kangnan City. At this time, Baijia's figure also appeared on a tree not far away like a ghost, and sneered. You guessed it right, the ring is on his body, and it is level 100 mythical equipment. As soon as these words came out, Lu Fan was stunned again. As expected of a high-level assassin, he actually knows the detection technique and can see my equipment information, etc. Lu Fan suddenly thought of something at this moment, and his whole body trembled. Detection. Although the opponent's detailed information can be viewed, it can only be used when there is physical contact. And the longer the contact time, the more detailed the detected information will be. In other words, Baia had deliberately seduced herself to go to the hotel to have love. Including those elite goblins, I'm afraid she set them up on purpose. Such a careful layout, such a meticulous disguise, all for the ring that his mother left for him. This is the only thing my mother left for me, and I will never let you take it away. Lu Fan looked at his father Lu Base and applied for team formation. Lu Base was stunned for a moment, then immediately understood and agreed to join the team. If the two of them are in the same team, Lu Fan's skills will not cause harm to Lu Base. At this moment, Baia, who was not far away, smiled coldly. Lu Fan, I advise you to stop struggling. Although your profession is indeed very strong, it's a pity that you have no chance to grow. Baijia's figure shook and disappeared again. Lu Fan knew very well that Baia was waiting for the skill to cool down just now. Now he will attack me again soon. At the same time, the men in black robes in the distance launched an attack at the same time. Immediately afterwards, the main body and the clone cast spells together, and actually fired 6 black energy arrows at the same time. If your guess is correct, this person's profession should be an S-level phantom wizard. Lu Base said softly from the side. Lu Fan nodded. He read the professional illustrated book carefully and remembered that the profession that has both clones and multiple energy arrows is the phantom wizard. However, the clone only has 50% of the attribute values of the original body. But even so, with the 6 energy arrows and Baijia's backstab, the damage might not even be able to be endured by the Hades dog. What's even more dangerous is that the cooldown of the ability to summon the Hades is as long as 60 seconds, and it hasn't cooled down yet. Lu Fan no longer hesitated, raised his hand and struck a ghostly fire towards the man in black robe in the distance. At the same time, Baia appeared behind Lu Fan again like a ghost. Lu Fan, be careful. Lu Bai's profession can only purify abnormal conditions. He can't help at all in combat and other aspects. Are you coming? Lu Fan smiled coldly, raised his hand and struck a nether flame pillar. Flames from the Netherworld rose from the ground to the sky. Directly inflict mental asterisk 2000% area damage to enemies within 10 meters. You must know that after Lu Fan put on the Ring of Hades, the King of Hades, his mental attributes were as high as 8,240. Then the damage of the nether flame pillar is a terrifying 160,000. And that's not all. Under the special effects of Hades' Ring and the blessing of Hades' Anger, spell critical strike plus 100% and critical strike damage plus 100%. You must know that the original critical damage is 200%, which is twice the normal damage. But now it has been doubled, that is, 3 times. Therefore, the damage of the nether flame pillar is now as high as a terrifying 480,000. Baia was completely confused when she saw this. She originally thought that she could avoid Lu Fan's ghostly fire with her high agility and body skills. Then he and Lu Moji continued to attack, first consuming Lu Fan's summons to death, and then finishing Lu Fan. But I didn't expect that Lu Fan actually had a range of group damage skills. Lu Moji didn't even tell her. In fact, Lu Moji didn't know at all. Because during the battle on the top floor of the Lu group, Lu Fan never used the nether flame pillar at all. The flames from hell soared into the sky, and Baia could not escape within a 10-meter radius. He was instantly killed into a ball of ashes. The man in black robe in the distance felt bad when he saw this. Immediately, the clone blocked Lu Fan's ghost fire, and he turned into a ball of black mist and escaped. Baia, I have already said that you shouldn't act without permission. You brought it all on yourself, but you can't blame me. Lu Fan, just wait for me. The person who dares to kill the Dark Temple is my most beloved Baia. I will make you pay the price. On the highway, Lu Fan drove a Rolls-Royce at high speed. It seems that this ring has been targeted for a long time. Lu Fan murmured. Lu Base nodded. What are you going to do next? Those people won't give up until they get the ring. I have to improve my strength as soon as possible. After Lu Fan thought for a moment, he continued. Next, I'm going to the dungeon square in the wild, and then you can drive back by yourself. Now that you are the new head of the Lu family, there are still many things in the family that need you to deal with. Lu Base nodded with a wry smile. He knew very well that he could not help Lu Fan much, but might become a drag. After a while, Lu Fan arrived at the outdoor dungeon square. After getting off the bus, Lu Fan waved goodbye to his father. Father, remember to call me when you return to Lu Group to make sure you are safe. Lu Base nodded. Lu Fan, my father is useless. I can't help you. You have to face everything that comes next. You must be careful. Lu Fan's eyes were moist. Father, although others don't know it, I know that you have always been excellent and just, and you have always had your own opinions on family affairs. I hope that under your leadership, the family will get better and better. Quote. Lu Beis's lips trembled slightly. Lu Fan's words really spoke to his heart. For the family, he really has too many ideas to change. This time, it was really thanks to Lu Fan that he finally had the opportunity to realize it himself. Lu Fan, thank you. Lu Base nodded and drove away. Lu Fan walked into the outdoor dungeon square alone. The square was crowded with people. And from time to time, you can hear voices inviting people to form a team. The level 10 Grotto Secret Realm dungeon is missing a nanny. 5 to 1, please come quickly. The level 15 Mad Wolf Lair copy is missing a front row tank. 5 to 1, come quickly. Since the level of the area in Kangnan City is very low, the wild dungeon here is only open to level 20. But I have to say that the dungeon square is really lively. The popularity is even higher than the most popular mall in the city center. After all, in this world where games come, nothing is more important than strength. Lu Fan naturally had no interest in forming a team. With his current strength, even the most difficult level 20 nightmare copy is no problem. Without any nonsense, Lu Fan walked straight towards the level 20 dungeon area. But at this moment, a group of familiar faces suddenly walked towards him. Lu Fan, it's you, you've come to the dungeon square too. Lu Fan took a look and saw that they were his classmates. However, his relationship with this group of classmates was not good. He has always been a loner in the class and has no good friends. Therefore, in the eyes of his classmates, he is just a proud young man from an aristocratic family. But in fact, this is Lu Fan's character. He believes that instead of these meaningless social interactions, he would rather read more professional illustrated books or monster illustrated books. At this time, many people in the crowd saw Lu Fan appearing, with contempt on their faces. Hey, I'm talking about Lu Fan, did you miss the news in the class group? What Teacher Chen said was to let students with talent B level or above come to the dungeon plaza. He brought them to refresh the dungeon, and you, an F level person, came here. Why join in the fun? That's right, and Teacher Chen has already invited all the invitees, and you are not included at all. What, you don't want to shamelessly sneak into our team, and then share the experience to upgrade together, right? Quote. People nowadays really have no self-awareness. They are shameless just to gain some experience. Hey, Lu Fan, aren't you from one of the 3 great families? Why don't you let someone from your own family take care of you? Haha. I still have him with me. I heard that he will be kicked out of the family soon. He is an F-level waste. Who doesn't think he is unlucky? Ha ha ha. A group of people were discussing in a hurry. Obviously they have no idea about Lu Fan's current strength. Lu Fan's expression did not waver at all. Yo yo yo, now I know I'm leaving. Why did you come so shamelessly in the first place? That's right, if you don't say a few words to him, you really think you are so awesome. Wait, that's not right. Look at the direction he's walking, it seems to be the area of the level 20 dungeon. What did you say? Level 20 copy. How is that possible? Don't be ridiculous. He is a person who has just awakened and changed jobs, and he is still the most rubbish F. He is going to clear a level 20 dungeon. Which team would want that? I understand. He must have felt embarrassed by what we said, so he deliberately pretended to go to the level 20 dungeon and pretended to be very powerful. So that's it, then I'm going to embarrass him. I'm going to follow him now and see how he clears the level 20 dungeon. Hey, I'll go too. It just so happens that Teacher Chen hasn't come yet. Waiting is just waiting. It's fun to continue playing. Then I'll go too. After some discussion, everyone felt that Lu Fan was showing off, so they decided to follow him and continue to laugh at him. But at this moment, two guild leaders in the level 20 dungeon area saw Lu Fan coming. He immediately got up and led people to greet him. Master Lu, why are you here? Do you want to refresh a copy? We can bring someone with you. Lu Fan looked up and found that the two of them were acquaintances he had met at the auction venue. The president of the top 10 trade unions in the field. The president of the Cavalry and Blade Guild, Lu Feng, is a level 26 knight. The president of the Jiaoshan Guild, Teta, is a level 25 barbaric warrior. Facing the two invitations, Lu Fan shook his head. Sorry, I don't form a team. What? The two presidents looked at each other with disbelief on their faces. Although they knew that Lu Fan was very powerful, this was a level 20 dungeon. Even on the easy difficulty level, it was impossible for one person to pass it. Master Lu, are you kidding me? If you don't form a team, is it possible that you have to go solo? Teta said in disbelief. Although your damage may be very high, the boss in the dungeon is resistant to high health and thick, and you cannot be killed in a short period of time, so you must at least form a front row and a nanny. Paladin Lu Feng also advised. The words of the two presidents also attracted other professionals from the level 20 dungeon area. Everyone wants to see which iron-headed boy wants to clear the level 20 dungeon alone. Lu Fan chuckled lightly, said nothing, and went straight to the dungeon whirlpool. Immediately afterwards, the system dialog box popped up. Dear warrior, this is the entrance to the level 20 dungeon, please choose the dungeon you want to enter. 1. Scorpion Cave, 2. Misty Forest, 3. Burning Mining Area. For Lu Fan, he will clear these 3 dungeons once, so it doesn't matter, just choose them in order. Choose the Scorpion Cave. Please select the difficulty you want to enter, easy, normal, difficult, nightmare. Nightmare. As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was shocked. One person can clear the level 20 dungeon. It's still a nightmare level of difficulty. This person is crazy. This is no different from committing suicide. Everyone in the level 20 area all had expressions of disbelief. Not far away, Lu Fan's classmates were also dumbfounded. This kid Lu Fan can't be serious. Is this guy using his life to show off? Hey, I say you go and try to persuade him personally and give him a way out, otherwise he will really get killed. Even the system gives safety tips. Professionals, please note that the dungeon you are currently challenging is a level 20 nightmare difficulty dungeon. It is too difficult for a single player to challenge. Please consider it carefully and confirm whether you want to continue the challenge. 1. I'll think about it again. 2. Continue. Continue. Whoosh whoosh. With a wave of vortex, Lu Fan was teleported into the copy. This is a huge, dark and damp cave. The torches on the wall swayed slightly, illuminating a thin light. Although this was Lu Fan's first time entering the Scorpion Cave instance. But he is no stranger to this place. The map here, the distribution of monsters, and the location of the boss snake-tail scorpion. He had already seen it in the school's copy of the picture book. Without further ado, Lu Fan raised his hand to summon the Hades dog and walked deeper into the cave. As expected, before taking 2 steps, the sound of monsters crawling and approaching could be heard all around. Lu Fan looked up and saw a large number of silver-tailed scorpions. Each silver-tailed scorpion was as huge as a human being, and they rushed towards Lu Fan in dense numbers. Silver-tailed scorpion, level 20, strength 1000, agility 1000, endurance 600, constitution 1300, spirit 700, experience value 2200. However, the difficulty of the copy is nightmare level. Not only did the number of silver-tailed scorpions double, but their attributes also increased dramatically. Nightmare Silver-Tail Scorpion, level 20, strength 2200, agility 1800, endurance 1400, constitution 3900, spirit 1400, experience value 6600. At the same time, there are also large groups of lizard shooters climbing along the cave walls. This is a long-range attack type monster. The damage is much higher than that of silver-tailed scorpion. Nightmare Lizard Shooter, level 20, strength 1500, agility 2500, endurance 1000, constitution 2700, spirit 1600, experience value 6400. Nightmare's unique skill. Swift shot, attack with additional agility plus 100% damage, and critical hit rate increased by 20%, magic consumption 600, cooling time 5 seconds. It has to be said that the attributes of each monster are quite terrifying. What's even more exaggerated is that there are a lot of them. At a glance, Lu Fan saw that there were about 12 scorpions and 10 lizard shooters. Even a level 30 human shield tank might not dare to directly resist this group of monsters. Although a level 30 tank can have more than 5,000 stamina when wearing a full set of equipment, which is higher than the damage of these monsters. But there is damage protection in this game. That is to say, when launching an attack, no matter how high the opponent's endurance is, it can cause at least 10% of the damage value. For example, if a tank with 5,000 endurance is hit by a silver-tailed scorpion, its health will not be deducted normally. But due to the damage protection mechanism, it can cause at least 220 points of damage. Subsequent poisoning can also cause at least 110 damage per second. Although it seems that the damage is not high, it is only the damage of one. If more than a dozen of them attack together, even with a nanny, the tank may not be able to hold it. Therefore, when the average team is playing a high difficulty dungeon, the tanks will not stand there stupidly and get beaten. They can pull and hit while running, which can greatly reduce the frequency of monster attacks. But this is a test of the tank's skills, because once the hatred is released, the monsters are likely to attack the DPS and nanny in the team, causing casualties. However, the above problems do not exist for Lu Fan. Because he has damage transference and a strong HP of more than 800,000. There is no need to worry that these little Karami will beat him to death. Even Lu Fan didn't choose to let the ghost dog use taunts. Because the agility of the hell dog is too low, if it is used to pull monsters, the speed will be too slow. After a while, Lu Fan ran to the deepest part of the lair. There are 6 golden-tailed scorpions and 4 lizard gunners here. Golden-tailed scorpion and lizard general are both elite monsters in the dungeon. The attributes are much higher than the previous 2 ordinary monsters. Nightmare Golden Tail Scorpion, Elite Monster, Level 20, Strength 3400, Agility 2300, Endurance 2000, Constitution 5000, Spirit 2800, Experience Value 12,200. Nightmare's unique skill. Scorpion Tail Poison, the attack is poisoned, causing poisoning damage of strength *100% every second, lasting 8 seconds, mana consumption 1000, cooling time 10 seconds. Nightmare Lizard Gunner, Level 20, Strength 2200, Agility 3500, Endurance 1500, Constitution 4000, Spirit 3200, Experience Value 11,800. Nightmare's unique skill. Swift Shot, attack with additional agility plus 150% damage, and critical hit rate increased by 40%, mana consumption 1200, cooling time 5 seconds. Lu Fan knew very well that all 10 elite monsters must be eliminated before the dungeon boss, the Scorpion King, would appear. However, he did not choose to take action in a hurry. He just turned around and looked at the hundreds of silver-tailed scorpions and lizard shooters behind him that were charging toward him, and smiled. Next, he planned to eliminate all these monsters with just one move. I saw him first running in front of 10 elite monsters to attract hatred, and then running forward for a certain distance. In this way, the long-range attacking lizard shooters and lizard gunners gathered together. Immediately after, Lu Fan ran back, withstood the attacks of all the monsters, and rushed back to the lizard shooter. After this operation, all the monsters gathered together. But it has to be said that when hundreds of monsters attack at the same time, the damage is really not low. Even though Lu Fan's endurance was as high as 4,000, he would still lose nearly 20,000 blood every second. Fortunately, they were all transferred to the Hades, otherwise he would only be able to last for 5 seconds based on his own blood volume. Finally, when all the monsters are gathered together, Lu Fan directly used the Nether Flame Pillar to instantly kill hundreds of monsters to ashes. At the same time, the blood-sucking effect of the Ring of Hades is triggered. 100% blood-sucking, instantly filling the Stygian dog's health bar. And after killing hundreds of monsters and burning the corpses, Lu Fan's experience points soared. The level was directly upgraded from level 15 to level 19, and the experience points were overflowing a lot. Boom boom boom. As the elite monsters were wiped out, the ground began to tremble, and the ground at the end of the cave began to collapse. A giant scorpion that was so huge that Lu Fan could only look up at it emerged from the ground. It is the boss of the copy, the Scorpion King. Who slaughtered my race? I want you to taste the venom. Chapter 21. Nightmare Scorpion King, Lord level monster, level 20, strength 7200, agility 5300, endurance 5000, constitution 30,000, spirit 4800, experience value 212,000. Lord skill. Deadly poison, attacks cause poisoning, causing poisoning damage of strength asterisk 150% every second, lasting 10 seconds, mana consumption 3000, cooling time 10 seconds. Nightmare level characteristics. The cooling time of deadly poison is reduced by 50%, and the poisoning damage can be superimposed. The Nightmare Giant Scorpion King is an existence that scares all professionals in Kangnan City. Even if it is a top level 30 tank and a top nanny, if it is accidentally infected with double poison, it is very likely that it will die. Moreover, the toxins of the Nightmare level Giant Scorpion King cannot be purified by ordinary assistance. Only a professional purifier like Lu Fan's father Lu Base can remove it. Unfortunately, Lu Beis's purification skill has a long cooldown time, at least 30 seconds. Therefore, even if he could purify the poison of the Giant Scorpion King, no team would want him. Because if the cooldown time is longer than the double poison time, it doesn't make much sense. A dungeon team can only have a maximum of 6 people. Every position is too important to waste. Therefore, if you bring a purifier, it is better to bring a wet nurse. It will be safer to form a double wet nurse lineup. The Nightmare Giant Scorpion King roared and rushed towards Lu Fan. Facing such a terrifying and huge monster, ordinary professions will be more or less afraid. But Lu Fan had a calm expression on his face, without any fluctuation in his heart. He raised his right hand slightly, and the ghostly fire rose up in his hand and slammed towards the Giant Scorpion King. After burning all the monsters just now, not only did Lu Fan's level increase greatly, but his mental attributes also skyrocketed. Plus the mental attributes and critical strike bonus of the Hades ring. With one move of Netherworld Will-o'-the-Wisp, the Scorpion King with a health value of 300,000 in front of him was easily reduced to ashes in seconds. Burn 20 Nightmare Scorpion King, strength plus 7200, agility plus 5300, endurance plus 4200, constitution plus 30,000, spirit plus 4800, experience value plus 2.12 million. At the same time, on the ashes of the Scorpion King, a beam of light rose into the sky. In the beam of light were a series of items dropped by the Scorpion King. Lu Fan looked up and saw an epic piece of equipment, the Scorpion Ring. Scorpion Ring, level requirement is 20, spirit plus 300. When releasing skills, there is a 5% probability of adding fatal poison, causing damage of main attribute asterisk 100% to the target per second, lasting for 5 seconds, and the damage can be superimposed. In addition, a lot of gold coins and some medicinal materials for refining 4th grade elixirs were also dropped. Lu Fan didn't talk nonsense and put everything into the backpack space. Congratulations to the professional for successfully clearing the dungeon. The clearance time is 1 minute and 06 seconds, and the rating is SSS. Get 1000 copy points. Congratulations to the professional for breaking the dungeon duration record and earning an additional 5000 dungeon points. One person can only get it once forever. The dungeon is about to close, with a countdown of 60 seconds. Whether the professional chooses to leave immediately. 1. Leave immediately. 2. Enjoy the scenery for a while. Enjoy the scenery. Lu Fan was stunned and looked at the dark, damp and terrifying cave around him. I'm afraid only fools would stay here to enjoy the scenery. Leave immediately. Whoosh whoosh. Lu Fan was teleported out. Seeing Lu Fan coming out, everyone gathered around him again. Holy crap, you kid actually made it out alive. The barbarian warrior Teta was the first to speak with a smile. You were able to survive alone in a nightmare dungeon for a minute and exited alive. How did you do that? Paladin Lu Feng exclaimed. Be aware that 1 minute is the limited time for a copy. 1 minute after entering the instance, you can choose to exit the instance directly. Therefore, after entering the dungeon, many teams will exit after killing the mobs and gaining experience. because they know they can't defeat elite monsters and boss. But the prerequisite for exiting the dungeon is that the professional must leave the combat state. You must know that in high-level and difficult dungeons, you will automatically get the first wave of hatred from mobs as soon as you enter. That is to say, you must kill the first wave of mobs, or let the hatred disappear and get out of the battle, so that you can leave the dungeon. At this time, an older man in the crowd smiled faintly. I must have brought a 5th grade elixir and an invisibility potion. Otherwise, even I can't think of any other method. Invisibility potion. So that's it. Not far away, Lu Fan's classmates started laughing again. I heard that thing is not cheap. I didn't expect that Lu Fan is so prodigal. In order to show off in front of us, he even used this thing. At this time, Teacher Chen from the school also ran over. Hey, why are you brats here? You really gave me a good meal. Didn't the group tell you to gather in the level 0 dungeon area? The teacher will personally take you to the snail grassland to farm snails. One of the classmates shook his head, pointed at Lu Fan at the entrance to the dungeon and said, Teacher, that's what happened. Just now Lu Fan insisted on pretending to challenge the level 20 nightmare dungeon, so we followed him to see his joke. What? Lu Fan challenges the level 20 nightmare difficulty dungeon by himself? Don't be kidding me. He is a newly awakened F-level profession. He has a hard time clearing the level 0 dungeon, but he still clears the level 20 nightmare difficulty dungeon. He's just dreaming. Teacher Chen completely thought these children were joking. It's really Teacher Chen. Lu Fan just went in, but he came out after just over a minute. Guess what? He actually used the invisibility potion, hid in there for a minute, and then exited the dungeon. Ha ha ha, it was so funny. We are. Invisibility potion. Teacher Chen was stunned. That was something worth tens of millions. Lu Fan naturally had no time to deal with this group of people. He is currently rummaging through the backpack space for the 2nd level breakthrough certificate, preparing to take it out to break through to level 20. But at this time, the broadcast in the center of the square suddenly rang. Congratulations to professional Lu Fan for breaking the record of level 20 nightmare difficulty dungeon, Scorpion Cave. The clearance time is 1 minute and 06 seconds. The sound of the radio was so loud that it resounded throughout the square. Now, the originally noisy square fell silent for an instant. Everyone's eyes turned to Lu Fan at the entrance to the level 20 dungeon. This guy, he actually didn't exit the dungeon, he cleared the level. This guy, he actually didn't exit the dungeon, he cleared the level. It's so scary, it's so scary. 1 minute and 06 seconds. Still a single brush. Is this something a human can do? The savage warrior Teda's jaw was almost dropped to the ground in shock. Paladin Lu Feng was so shocked that he trembled all over. They were all frequent visitors to level 20 dungeons all year round, and they knew better than anyone how exaggerated Lu Fan's record was. Teacher Chen and the group of classmates not far away were all dumbfounded. What's going on? How could a newly awakened F-level waste clear the level 20 nightmare dungeon in just 1 minute and 6 seconds? Even if the 6 strongest people in Kangnan City formed a team, I'm afraid they wouldn't be able to achieve this level. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. There must be an error in the system. System error. Yes, that must be the case. There is a system error. Several students who had previously mocked Lu Fan simply could not believe this fact and were still trying to find reasons to deceive themselves. But the next second, their last illusion was shattered. I saw Lu Fan taking out a 2nd level breakthrough certificate with a calm expression under the horrified gazes of everyone. How come this guy has a 2nd level breakthrough certificate? Wait, what is this guy going to do? No way, don't tell me. I saw Lu Fan directly using the 2nd level breakthrough certificate. The whole body was instantly radiant, and golden light pillars soared into the sky. Everyone in the square knew that this was a strange phenomenon that only occurs when professionals achieve breakthroughs and upgrades. 2nd level breakthrough successful. Level increased to level 22, all attributes plus 90, free attribute points plus 450. After the 2nd level, every level up, all attributes plus 30, free attribute points plus 150. Netherworld Ghost Fire upgrade. Ghost Fire level 3 causes mental damage * 2000% per second, lasting 40 seconds, mana consumption 2000, cooling time 0.8 seconds. Netherworld Flame Pillar upgrade. Pillar of Netherworld Flame, Level 2, summons a pillar of flame to the sky within 20 meters of itself, causing spiritual damage 3000% to all targets within the range. Mana consumption 6000, cooling time 9 seconds. Summon Hades Dog Upgrade. Summon Hell Dog, Level 2, summons 2 Hell Dogs to assist in the battle. The magic value consumption is 12,000, and the cooling time is 50 seconds. Comprehensive Summoning Skill. Summon Stylish Wolf, Level 1, summons a Stygian Wolf to assist in the battle. The magic value consumption is 50,000, and the cooling time is 120 seconds. Ghost Wolf. Assassin type summon, active skill, invisibility, passive skill, multiple critical hits. Attack power is related to the summoner's spiritual attributes. Detailed attributes can be viewed after summoning. Awakening Level 20 Professional Talent, multiple summons, Level 1, number of summoned beasts for all summoning skills 3. Listening to the series of prompts from the system in his mind, Lu Fan couldn't help but sigh that this profession is really abnormal. How can others play with this? Lu Fan first added all the free attribute points to his spirit. Then equipped the 4 epic pieces of equipment and the spiritual breaking set that were previously in the auction collection pavilion. He also put on the scorpion ring that was revealed just now. Then checked the system panel. Level 22. Power 17,790. Agility 18,290. Attribute value 17,990. Equipment bonus 300. Endurance 11,790. Attribute value 11,390. Equipment bonus 400. Spirit 43,132. Attribute value 19,840. Equipment bonus 1200. Percentage bonus 105%. Physique 56,590. Attribute value 56,090. Equipment bonus 500. Magic value 189,400. Health value 560,900. Equipment: Spirit Breaking Scepter, Spirit Breaking Cloth Armor, Spirit Breaking Belt, Spirit Breaking Cloth Shoes, Scorpion Ring, Ring of Hades. Additional equipment bonus. Scorpion Ring. There is a 5% probability of adding fatal poison when releasing skills, causing damage of main attribute *100% to the target per second, lasting for 5 seconds, and the damage can be superimposed. Spirit Breaking Set. Skill damage increased by 5%. Ring of Hades. Spell critical hit plus 100%, critical hit damage plus 100%, spell blood sucking plus 100%, kill all creatures with health value less than 20%. Active skills. Netherworld Ghost Fire, Level 3, Netherworld Flame Pillar, Level 2, Summon Netherworld Dog, Level 2, Netherworld Entanglement, Level 1, Summon Netherworld Wolf, Level 1. Talent Passive. Multiple Summons, Level 1. After a series of battles, Lu Fan's level and attributes have been greatly improved. But what he didn't notice was that the entire square had already gathered. They were all staring at me with incredulous expressions. Because at this time, after Lu Fan upgraded, level information was displayed above his head. Level 22. Seeing this, the presidents of the 2 major guilds, Lu Feng and Teta, kept shaking their heads, telling themselves that this was not true. Level 22. It took the 2 of them nearly 20 years to reach this level. And they all worked hard to brush up their books, almost never slacking off. But now Lu Fan actually only used it for less than a day. This simply made the 2 people's Taoist hearts collapse, and their hearts were completely unbalanced. Not far away, Teacher Chen and the classmates who looked down on Lu Fan just now were all frightened and collapsed on the ground. They didn't expect that Lu Fan actually relied on his own strength to clear the dungeon. And from beginning to end, Lu Fan probably didn't take them seriously at all. What's the so-called pretense, forcing you to fight a level 20 nightmare dungeon just to save face? It doesn't exist at all. Everything is just their own imagination. They are the most ridiculous clowns. However, at this time, Lu Fan still ignored the blazing gazes of the people around him. Instead, he chose to come to the dungeon whirlpool again. Dear warrior, this is the entrance to the level 20 dungeon, please choose the dungeon you want to enter. 1. Scorpion Cave. 2. Misty Forest. 3. Burning Mining Area. Choose the Misty Forest. Please select the difficulty you want to enter, easy, normal, difficult, nightmare. Nightmare. The Flame King is sitting solemnly in the room with his eyes closed and meditating. The long, fiery red hair flows freely without wind, and he has the demeanor of a strong man. At this time the phone rang. Zhuang Yan opened the phone and saw that the call was from Wu Sheng, the head of the Wu family in Linhai City. Wu Sheng, Wu Qi's father, is also Zhuang Yan's old friend. Hey, Lao Wu, it's really rare to receive a call from you during my break. What's the matter? Lao Zhuang, nothing happened to my son Wu Qi, right? No one answered my calls to him. An anxious voice came from the other end of the phone. Wu Qi, oh, I remembered that I asked him to go to Kangnan City to pick up a newly recruited female disciple. He may still be on the way now. Female disciple, it's no wonder. Why didn't this brat answer my call? He must have done bad things again. In that case, I'm relieved. When he returns to Qingyan Academy, you ask him to I'll call you back. Well, don't worry, your son is still a level 39 expert now. What's the problem if he goes to a small Kangnan city? That's right, that's right. The phone hangs up. He solemnly sighed. Hey, how pitiful the hearts of parents are. Even though their son is so outstanding, they still can't worry about it. But at this moment, suddenly the shouts of disciples came from outside the door. Master, it's not good. Senior brother Wu Qi's soul lamp has gone out. What did you say? When Zhuang Yan heard this, he immediately stood up and rushed out. What did you say? Say it again. Wu Qi, senior brother Wu Qi's soul lamp has gone out. How can it be? The news was like a thunder, hitting Zhuang Yan's forehead heavily. But as the King of Fire, he is a famous professor at Qingyan Academy. Zhuang Yan quickly came to his senses and shouted at the disciple. Go to the School of Life and find Professor Kong. Ask him to take action, maybe there is a glimmer of hope. Yes, disciple, go now. Hey, wait a minute. Forget it, I'll go in person. The other side, Lu Fan entered the dungeon again, the misty forest. It's cloudy and foggy here, and visibility is extremely low. It can be seen from the records on the copy of the illustration. The misty forest is similar to the scorpion cave. The common monsters are the magic bear with melee combat, and the butterfly fairy with long-range spell attack. The elite monsters are the black-furred demon bear with improved attributes, and the butterfly witch who can release spell combos. Due to the influence of fog, if a newcomer who is not familiar with the dungeon comes in, he will most likely be killed by monsters that suddenly rush out. But this is simply not worth mentioning to the now upgraded Lu Fan. Without any nonsense, he directly raised his hand to summon the Hades dog. With the upgrade of Hell Dog's skills and the blessing of multiple summons, Lu Fan actually summoned 6 Hades dogs in one breath this time. And the blood volume of each one is an astonishing 4 million. Not only that, after the Hell Dog is upgraded, its active skill Roar has also been upgraded. Not only does the taunt range expand to 20 meters around, it can also reduce the damage you receive by another 10%. It can be said to be meat on top of meat. This is not over yet. Lu Fan raised his hand again and used his new skill to summon the Dark Wolf. Dark Wolf. Power. 1000. Agility. 431,320. Summoner Spirit 10. Endurance. 43,132. Summoner Spirit 1. Spirit. 1000. Physique. 43,132. Summoner Spirit 1. HP. 430,000. Magic value. 10,000. Stealth Wolf active skill. Invisibility level 1 enters the invisibility state, becomes invisible, and increases the movement speed by 50% for 60 seconds. The invisibility state will be released when receiving damage or actively launching an attack. Mana consumption. 1000. Cooldown. 60 seconds. The passive skill of Stygian Wolf. Multiple critical hits level 1 has a 20% probability of triggering 2 to 4 critical hits when attacking. Lu Fan took a look at the attributes of the Hell Wolf, and it was obvious that they were different from the Hell Dog's human shield. This Ghost Wolf is an assassin, and its main attribute is agility. It is used for damage and sneak attacks. And it looks like the damage is not low. Without further ado, Lu Fan turned over and sat on one of the wolves. You know, the higher the agility attribute, the faster the movement speed. Coupled with the movement speed bonus of invisibility, the movement speed of the Stygian wolf is as fast as being idle. Lu Fan rode on the underworld wolf and rushed to the deepest part of the misty forest in just 10 seconds. In front of me is a towering old tree. Under the ancient tree are guarded 6 elite monsters, black-furred demon bears, and 4 butterfly witches. There is a huge wooden house built in the middle of the old tree. Lu Fan knew that the person living in the wooden house was the owner of the misty forest, the boss of this dungeon, the spiritual wizard. The 4 pieces of spiritual equipment that Lu Fan was wearing were dropped from this boss. At this time, the hundreds of mobs behind him were all chasing after him just like they were at the Scorpion Cave. But at this time, Lu Fan was no longer interested in them. His main purpose for brushing this copy was purely to increase his attributes. No nonsense, just start killing. He performed the ghost fire attack himself. At the same time, the ghost wolf also rushed over, taking 1 elite monster at a time. Unlike the Scorpion Cave, the boss soul-breaking wizard will not wait for the elite monsters to be eliminated before coming out. Instead, he would come out of the cabin whenever there was any huge noise that disturbed him. I saw the aura flourishing in the wooden house. An extremely handsome elf wizard walked out of it, who disturbed my sleep and came out to die. As he spoke, he waved the staff in his hand and shot a spirit-breaking magic ball. This magic ball does extremely high damage, and it also has a spirit-breaking effect, which can reduce the target's magic value and cause the same life damage. You know, all skills rely on magic points. Once the mana is depleted, the skill cannot be used. And this is exactly the difficulty of this copy. It is even said that it is among the 3 major dungeons at level 20. The Misty Forest is a dungeon that most people would not choose to challenge. Because not only does it require a large amount of mana returning medicine support, but also because the visibility is too low, it will be more difficult for the team to cooperate. Sometimes, while the tank is running, the wet nurse loses track of it, resulting in the group being wiped out. But it is a pity that in front of Lu Fan, no matter how powerful the wizard is, he is still no different from an ant. He raised his hand and shot a ghostly fire to instantly kill him, and his attributes soared again. Above the wizard's ashes, 2 purple beams of light rose into the sky. 2 pieces of epic equipment actually dropped. Spirit-breaking witch hat, level requirement 20, spirit plus 300, stamina plus 100. Spiritual breaking necklace, level requirement 20, spirit plus 400. Lu Fan's current level is enough, so he can put it on directly. In addition to the 4 pieces of spiritual breaking equipment already on his body. The effect of the spirit breaking set is directly upgraded. Spirit breaking set, 6 pieces, spirit plus 1000, spirit attribute plus 5%, skill damage plus 5%. There is a 10% probability of triggering the spirit breaking effect when causing skill damage, and a magic reduction effect of 10% of the damage value will be caused to the target. Congratulations to the professional for successfully clearing the dungeon. The clearance time is 34 seconds and the rating is SSS. Get 1000 copy points. Congratulations to the professional for breaking the dungeon duration record and earning an additional 5000 dungeon points. One person can only get it once forever. The dungeon is about to close, with a countdown of 60 seconds. Whether the professional chooses to leave immediately. 1. Leave immediately. 2. Enjoy the scenery for a while. Leave immediately. Wait a moment. Just when Lu Fan was about to choose the dungeon to leave, he suddenly discovered a fairy witch that was attacking hard. After taking a closer look, I realized that this witch is actually pretty cool looking. For some reason, a perverted idea came to Lu Fan's mind. He directed 3 wolves to go to the rear to kill the mobs, leaving the goblin and witch behind. This is the secret realm of the dungeon. Apart from him, no one else should know about it. Lu Fan rushed towards the goblin and witch with a lewd smile on his face. The powerful force made it unable to move in an instant. After some confusion, Lu Fan pulled up his pants with satisfaction. Only the elf witch was left on the ground with a look of shame and anger. I looked at the countdown and saw that there were 40 seconds left before the copy was closed. Ahem, this is my first time doing something like this. I'm so excited. Well, that must be the case. Fortunately, no one saw it. System, leave the copy. Whoosh whoosh, Lu Fan was teleported back to the dungeon square again. But what he didn't expect was when he came out, only to find that everyone in the square was looking at the huge screen in the center of the square and laughing crazily. Lu Fan turned his head and looked curiously. Oh my god. The screen is actually playing the image of what happened in the copy just now. Hold the grass. Your mother. Who did this? Lu Fan couldn't help but cursed loudly. At this time, the barbarian warrior Teta on the side held back his laughter, leaned close to Lu Fan and whispered. After you entered the dungeon just now, everyone was very curious about how you passed the level and broke the record, so they all responded to the person in charge of the plaza dungeon. Lu Fan was startled. Then, Teta couldn't help it anymore and laughed out loud. Of course. Then, in order to satisfy everyone's curiosity and prove that you didn't cheat, the person in charge broadcast your image and the copy live on the screen in the center of the square. Where is the person in charge? I'm going to kill him. This is my privacy. How can I do this kind of thing in private without my permission? Lu Fan's inner defense immediately broke and he roared towards the sky. Teta patted him on the shoulder and comforted him. Master Lu, don't get excited. That kind of thing is normal. I've wanted to do it for a long time, but I'm just not strong enough. That's right, we are all men, everyone understands. Lu Fan had a dark look on his face. He knew very well that this was not the point of the joke at all. I saw ghost fire rising above his right hand. Whoever dares to smile again will be offended. There was a sound, and the whole place fell into silence. Laughter is a smile. But through the live broadcast of the copy just now, everyone really saw Lu Fan's strength. If he wanted to kill someone, it would be easier than squeezing an ant to death. Just at this time, the broadcast in the center of the square rang again. Congratulations to professional Lu Fan for breaking the record of level 20 Nightmare difficulty dungeon, Misty Forest. The clearance time is 34 seconds. As soon as the sound came out, everyone couldn't help but be a little horrified. Although everyone has already known this result, the record of 34 seconds is really too exaggerated. It is absolutely unprecedented and unprecedented. You must know that the average person does nothing after entering the dungeon. Just running from the starting point to the wizard's wooden house takes at least a minute. Lu Fan actually only took 34 seconds to run and fight. It really makes people sigh at the huge gap between people in this world. At this time, Lu Fan finally calmed down. Those who achieve great things do not stick to trivial matters. He shouldn't waste his time on this nonsense. Without any nonsense, he turned around and came to the dungeon whirlpool again. There is only one last copy left, finish it and leave. Dear warrior, this is the entrance to the level 20 dungeon, please choose the dungeon you want to enter. Choose the burning mining area. Please select the difficulty you want to enter, easy, normal, difficult, nightmare. Nightmare. Qingyan Academy, the beacon of the soul. The disciple guarding the spiritual lamp led the way. Behind him are Flame King Zhuangyan and the holy sages of the School of Life, Professor Kong and Kong Su. Kang Su was dressed in white robes, with white beard and hair. Old Zhuang, you are really lucky. I happen to have a soul-gathering pill in my hand. Otherwise, your disciple might really be dead. Thank you so much, Brother Kong, for your help this time. Don't worry, I, Zhuang, will keep this favor in mind. While talking, the two came to Wu Qi's soul lamp. Kong Su gently stroked his white beard and took out the 6th grade elixir, the soul-gathering pill, with his right hand. Suddenly, a small vortex appeared on Wu Qi's soul lamp. His soul fragments were attracted and are reuniting at the soul lamp. After a while, the soul lamp rekindled a small flame. Successful, Kang Su said, forming seals with his hands and exerting force suddenly. The dead are resurrected. A whoosh sound. Above the soul lamp, the light shines brightly. A vision of a holy angel actually appeared above. As the angel opens his hands, Wu Qi's figure slowly emerged among them. Wu Qi is resurrected. Zhuang Yan stepped forward to support Wu Qi and said angrily, Wu Qi, who killed you? Wu Qi was extremely weak at this time, and it took all his strength to even speak. Yes, it's Kangnan. The Lu family. Lu. Before he finished speaking, Wu Qi fainted completely. Kang Su sighed. Fortunately, it was discovered in time. If it had been a few hours later and the soul had been recovered by the system, there would have been no way to save it. However, Zhuang Yan had an angry look on his face. I really didn't expect that in a small Kangnan city, someone would dare to attack my disciples. It's really lawless. What do you mean, Lao Zhuang? Do you mean to take people to ask for an explanation in person? Of course, the Kangnan Lu family, I want this entire family to disappear completely. But don't forget, tonight is a regular meeting about this year's college entrance examination. The dean will personally preside over it, and all professors will participate. Upon hearing this, Zhuang Yan took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. Then let the Lu family live one more day. But having said that, I have to thank Brother Kong this time. Zhuang Yan said, taking out a 6th grade elixir, the marrow cleansing pill, from his backpack. Brother Kong, please accept your thoughts. Kong Su accepted the marrow cleansing pill with a satisfied smile on his face. In terms of rarity, the marrow cleansing pill is more precious than the soul gathering pill. You can wash away 1000 points of one of your own attributes and convert them into free attribute points. For example, for a mage, strength is not that important, so 1000 points of strength can be converted into free attribute points and then allocated to the spirit. It can be said that among the 6th grade elixirs, the marrow cleansing elixir is the most popular among high-level professionals. The soul gathering pill is replaced by the marrow cleansing pill. I still make a profit. Kong Lao said with a smile. No, if Mr. Kong hadn't taken action this time, I really wouldn't be able to explain to his father. Oh, I wonder who Wu Qi's father is. The first aristocratic family in Linhai City, the head of the Wu family, Wu Sheng. When Kong Lao heard this, he couldn't help but take a deep breath. It's actually his son. At this moment, Zhuang Zheng's cell phone rang again. He took it out and saw that it was Wu Sheng calling. Hey, Lao Wu, Lao Zhuang, has my son come back? I always have an ominous premonition in my heart. Hey, Lao Wu, you and I have known each other for many years, so I won't hide it from you. Your son did have an accident, but fortunately Professor Kong from the School of Life took action and rescued him. What did you say? Something happened to my son. Who did it? Kangnan City, Lu family. At this time, Lu Fan, who was still unaware, was transported into the dungeon again. Burning mining areas. This copy is different from the previous 2 copies. When you first come in, you will see the boss of the dungeon, the Scorched Corpse King. Surrounded by an abandoned mining area, the entire ground was burning with fire. Lu Fan was hurt by the flames as soon as he came in. This flame belongs to the site-specific state of the copy, exists permanently, and cannot be eliminated by any skills. Fortunately, the damage is not high, and only 1000 health points are deducted every second. This is still nightmare difficulty. If the difficulty is lowered, the damage per second will be less. In addition to nightmare difficulty, there are also several high platforms in low difficulty scenes that can be climbed up through stairs. Standing on a high platform will no longer take damage from fire. Therefore, when professionals form a team to clear this dungeon, their configuration is usually 2 wet nurses, 3 remote outputs, and a front row tank. The tank resists the boss below, and the other 5 people stand on the high platform to output and increase blood. It is precisely because of such a user-friendly design that the dungeon in the burning mine is the most popular among the 3 level 20 dungeons. What's even more interesting is that the boss of this dungeon, the Scorched Corpse King, will not attack on his own, but will keep summoning him. A batch of demonized zombies and demonized maggots will be summoned every few seconds. After 5 normal summons, a group of elite demonized zombies and demonized moths will be summoned next time. During this period, there will be roars from time to time, which will add status, attack, and blood to these summoned monsters. In addition, the Scorched Corpse King has another characteristic. That is, it is resistant to high blood pressure and recovers life very quickly. Therefore, although this copy has a relatively smaller risk of being destroyed by the group than the other 2 copies, but the time to clear the level is far longer than the other 2 copies. Suitable for patient professionals to form a team challenge. Of course, the above situation does not exist for Lu Fan. Even on nightmare difficulty, there is no so-called high platform. Lu Fan stood in the fire without any fear. However, he was not in a hurry to take action because he wanted to gain the attributes of elite zombies and moths by the way. After the Scorched Corpse King made 5 normal summons, he summoned an elite monster. Lu Fan then walked over and struck the Netherworld flame pillar, killing everyone in an instant. Only some materials for refining 4th grade elixirs were exploded. No matter how small a fly is, it is still meat. Lu Fan put the ingredients into his backpack. Congratulations to the professionals for successfully clearing the dungeon. The clearance time is 1 minute and 21 seconds, and the rating is SSS. Get 1000 copy points. Congratulations to the professional for breaking the dungeon duration record and earning an additional 5000 dungeon points. One person can only get it once forever. The dungeon is about to close, with a countdown of 60 seconds. Whether the professional chooses to leave immediately. 1. Leave immediately. 2. Enjoy the scenery for a while. Leave now. Lu Fan roared and returned to the dungeon square. At this point, Lu Fan has cleared all level 20 dungeons. His attributes skyrocketed, and his level also increased by another level, reaching level 23. Moreover, the boss wizard in the Misty Forest is a legal lord level monster, and it also has more spiritual bonuses to Lu Fan. Allocate all attribute points to the spirit. Lu Fan opened the system panel again to check. It's a rough calculation, don't mind, bosses, it's not very important after all. Level 23. Power 41,000. Agility 43,000. Endurance 30,000. Spirit 105,000. Physique 143,000. HP 1.43 million. Magic value 1.05 million. Looking at his skyrocketing attributes, Lu Fan nodded with satisfaction. With his current strength, I am afraid that even if the entire Qingyan Academy's combat power is deployed to avenge Wu Qi, he, Lu Fan, will not be afraid at all. Etc. Lu Fan suddenly had a doubt in his mind at this moment. Since his mother was the previous Nether Lord, it stands to reason that she would be as perverted as him. How did the mother die? Who killed her? Who can kill her? Could it be said that there are more terrifying existences in this world? The Nether Lord is not the strongest. Thinking of this, Lu Fan decided to go home immediately and ask his father about everything about his mother. Ignoring the horrified looks around him, Lu Fan turned and left. Lu Fan didn't even need a Porsche sports car at this time. Directly summon the underworld wolf and ride away, as fast as a rocket. But at this moment, Lu Fan's cell phone rang. When I opened it, I saw that it was a text message sent by the school. All students are requested to return to the school playground immediately after receiving the message. Due to the impact of the previous monster invasion, half of the students have not completed their job transfer. Please come to the playground to complete the job transfer. The other half of the students who have changed jobs also need to come to the playground to fill out the college entrance examination application form in order to participate in the National College Entrance Examination test to be held next month. Lu Fan took a look, and a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. College entrance examination. With my strength, do I need to take the college entrance examination? Go directly to the demonic mountains and kill monsters in the endless abyss. Or go to the frozen fortress in northern China and the hopeless sea in the east to defend against enemies. No matter where you go, you will be promoted faster than going to any other school. Not to mention that he had killed Wu Qi, and it was even more impossible to go to the best Qingyan Academy in the southern region. So Lu Fan decided not to take the college entrance examination and go home directly. However, at this moment, the ring of Hades suddenly glowed with blood-red light. A strange voice sounded in his mind. Congratulations to the professional who has exceeded 100,000 points in spiritual attributes, triggered Hades guidance, and is sensing the location of the remaining Hades equipment. The induction is successful. The next Hades equipment is located in Qingyan City, Qingyan Academy, Southern China region. Professionals, please go there as soon as possible. Lu Fan, hold the grass. The next piece of Pluto Hades equipment is in Qingyan Academy. What the hell, why is such high-end equipment in such a poor place? You do this with me. You force me to go to Qingyan Academy, right? Forget it, you can go to the little Qingyan Academy. The worst case scenario is that this college entrance examination will directly lead to the top spot in the country. I wonder if Qingyan University will ask me to go there. As the school text message goes out, a large number of private cars suddenly arrived at the school gate. Parents send their children here to change jobs or fill out college entrance examination application forms. Among them are Lamborghini, Ferrari and other top luxury cars. It has to be said that most of the students who can enter Kangnan number 1 middle school have good family backgrounds. However, a girl riding a shared bicycle not far away was out of tune with everyone. On such an important day, she did not have her parents to pick her up. She just rode a shared bicycle silently toward the school gate. She wore a gray scarf on her head and a pair of sunglasses on her face. Looks cool, but only she knew that this was just to cover up her unusual appearance. But even so, many classmates still recognized him. Without exception, they all had a look of fear on their faces. Why is she here? Yeah, wasn't it that I was dismissed by the school 2 years ago? Let's go quickly. It is said that if you meet her, you will be unlucky. When several students saw this, they couldn't help but speed up their progress. The girl arrived at the school gate and parked the shared bicycle at the designated location. He lowered his head and walked towards the school. But just as he passed the school gate, he was stopped by the guard. Sorry, non-school personnel are not allowed to enter. The girl lowered her head and her body trembled slightly. I'm here to change jobs. The guard glanced sideways at the girl and said impatiently. I said, non-school personnel are not allowed to enter, don't you understand? The girl was slightly startled, then gritted her teeth and said. I checked. The state stipulates that all Chinese citizens over the age of 18 can go to the nearest school to change jobs. I should have this right. The girl said as she prepared to take out her ID card from her backpack. Unexpectedly, the guard raised his foot and kicked the girl to the ground. Can't you understand people? Get out of here. The terrifying force caused the girl to roll several times on the ground before she stopped. The sunglasses were also shattered, revealing his blue pupils. With white hair and blue eyes, he has an unusual appearance. Hey, girl, don't you know what you are like? 2 years ago, you scared a classmate to death. The principal explicitly prohibited you from entering the school. It's good for you. You sneaked into the school library a few months ago. Do you know that I was deducted 2,000 yuan from my salary that time? My salary is only 3,800 yuan a month. At the same time, the huge movement and the girl's strange appearance instantly attracted the attention of students and parents at the door. Wait a minute, that person seems to be the young lady from the Zhang family. One of the parents, who was standing next to the Ferrari and smoking, recognized the girl. Young lady from the Zhang family has been expelled from the family a long time ago. It is said that she was born with white hair and blue eyes, and killed both her parents when she was born. Everyone said she was a bad sign. I remember that the Zhang family asked a fortune teller to take a test. He said that this girl was a disaster star coming to the world, and anyone who got too close to her would be unlucky. It turns out it's her. No wonder the guard is so excited. Then don't let her enter the school. If she causes my son to change his job, I will fight her tooth and nail. There was a lot of discussion around, and the girl could hear it clearly. With tears in her eyes, she gritted her teeth and climbed up, tremblingly taking out her ID card from her bag. I am a Chinese citizen, I have rights. There was a pop sound. The guard slapped her ID card away. Look back and see for yourself, who of the parents behind you would allow you to go in. Be smart, get out, and go to other schools to harm others. If I let you in, my job will be gone. The girl lowered her head, tears welling up uncontrollably. In fact, as early as the morning, she tried all the schools, but they all failed. No school is willing to accept an ominous person into the transfer lineup. Here is her final attempt. The girl turned back and picked up the ID card on the ground. But at this moment, a wolf howl resounded across the sky. Lu Fan jumped down from the city's sky on his horse. The huge movement instantly diverted everyone's attention away from the girl. What kind of mount is this? It's so cool. I haven't seen it before. Is it a new model just released by the copy shop? This wolf is so handsome, the price must not be cheap. It has to be said that compared to Lu Fan's ghost wolf, those so-called luxury cars are simply weak. Wait a minute, isn't this person, that good-for-nothing young master of the Lu family, Lu Fan? Someone in the crowd recognized him. Oh my god, he hasn't been kicked out of the Lu family yet. Didn't I hear that the Lu family's rule is that all those with talents below level C are kicked out of the family? And I also heard that everyone from the Han family went to the Lu family to break off their engagement. No way, then why does he have such a cool mount? I don't know. Let's see what's going on first. Lu Fan naturally ignored the comments of this group of ants and prepared to go directly to the playground to fill out the college entrance examination application form. But out of the corner of his eye, he saw the girl picking up her ID card. Zhang Shui. Lu Fan was stunned. He originally thought of finding her later, but he didn't expect to meet her here. Lu Fan in his previous life did not discover the secret of the ghost fire. As a result, the engagement was broken off by the Han family and expelled by the Lu family. When he had nowhere to go, it was Zhang Shui who took him in. At this time, Zhang Shui naturally saw Lu Fan. Her eyes were full of envy. It's awesome, but it's such a shame. I may not be able to have it in my life. Zhang Shui picked up her ID card and put it in her bag, looking disappointed and preparing to leave. Zhang Shui. Lu Fan jumped off the underworld wolf and shouted towards the girl. The girl was stunned for a moment and looked back in disbelief. You. Are you calling me? Lu Fan nodded and laughed. Of course, are you here to change jobs too? Lu Fan didn't wait for Zhang Shui to finish speaking, he directly picked him up and rode on the underworld wolf. Then Stygian Wolf jumped up high and headed straight for the job transfer formation on the playground. This time the doorman and everyone around him were dumbfounded. What's going on? There is something wrong with this young master of the Lu family. How dare he take the initiative to contact that ominous person? Isn't he afraid of death? Trash and disaster are a perfect match. No, the disaster stars have entered, and my son will be harmed. Holy shit, my daughter is still in there too. Everyone said that and quickly rushed into the school. On the playground at this time, the job transfer array is being built. The principal was drinking tea and chatting happily with the Minister of Health. Old Chin, don't tell me. The corpse of the monster was disposed of very quickly and cleanly this time. Your Ministry of Health is indispensable for the job transfer ceremony being able to restart so quickly. After the job transfer is over, the school will definitely open a commendation conference, praise your Ministry of Health. When the Minister of Health heard this, the corner of his mouth twitched momentarily. Well, Principal, actually Before he finished speaking, Lu Fan and Zhang Shui fell from the sky and landed next to the principal. Hey, old guy, let me tell you something. After the job transfer process begins, transfer to my friend first. Headmaster, Lu Fan, where did you come from? How dare you talk to me like that? Wait a minute, who is this woman in your arms? Holy crap, this woman is the ominous one from the Zhang family. How dare you come in with her in your arms? The principal spat out a sip of tea. Lu Fan smiled coldly. Ominous, I think you look ominous because of your size. Zhang Shui is my friend. When the job transfer formation is completed, she will be the first to transfer. Do you understand? The principal stood up, slammed the teacup in his hand to the ground, and roared. Lu Fan, who do you think you are? If you dare to talk to me like this, even if you are the head of the Lu family, Lu Zontian, you have to be polite when talking to me, let alone you, an F-level waste. Lu Zontian, who is he? He is worthy of being compared with me. Lu Fan, you are crazy, do you know what you are talking about? Lu Fan smiled coldly and stopped talking. In his opinion, there is no point in talking now. When the formation is completed, he can just send Zhang Shui up to change jobs. At that time, he wants to see who dares to stop him. Zhang Shui was lying in Lu Fan's arms with a look of astonishment on her face. Classmate, you just said. I said you were your friend. Yes, what's the matter? Lu Fan smiled and glanced at Zhang Shui, who had white hair, blue eyes, and fair skin in his arms. This girl is an ominous girl in the eyes of others. In Lu Fan's eyes, she was simply a beautiful girl from the second dimension. But I don't seem to know you, and I've never had any friends. Now you have. Zhang Shui was slightly startled. She never expected that someone would be willing to be her friend in her life. Yes. But I am an ominous person. Lu Fan covered Zhang Shui's pink lips with his hand. Don't talk nonsense. What bullshit is ominous is just the superstitious prejudices of the world. Zhang Shui gently pushed Lu Fan's hand away. But they all said that if you come too close to me, you will be in trouble. Aren't you afraid? Lu Fan laughed. Ha ha ha, what the hell are you afraid of? Who can make me unlucky? Is it gods, Buddhas, or God? Even if they really exist, if they dare to make me unlucky, I will kill them. She didn't expect that someone in this world would dare to say such disrespectful words to the gods. This person, so special. Classmate, you'd better put me down first. After all, this is the first time we've met. Is it bad if you hold me like this? I just like holding you, there's nothing wrong with it. With Lu Fan's current strength, it was not easy to hold the thin and slender Zhang Shui. What's your name? Is it Lu Fan? Kindness. At this time, the job transfer formation in the center of the playground was completed. Brilliant light, complex and profound runes, and a slowly rotating six-pointed star pattern. This was set up in advance by China's top formation master. However, only the principal knows how to initiate and transfer jobs. See that the formation has been completed. Lu Fan led Zhang Shui and rode the underworld wolf into the center of the formation with great swagger. Then he gently placed Zhang Shui on it, turned to the principal and shouted. Hey, old guy, it's time to start. This move made the principal look stupid. Lu Fan, what the hell are you doing? Bring that woman down quickly. The teachers, classmates, and parents present were all excited. White hair and blue eyes. That woman is the Zhang family's bad luck. If she is allowed to transfer first, all the students who transfer later will definitely be unlucky. Absolutely not. That's right, absolutely not. When Zhang Shui saw this, she also looked embarrassed, lowered her head and whispered. Hey, Lu Fan, this is really not good. Actually, I can wait until everyone else has transferred, and I can be the last one. Lu Fan smiled and shook his head. The principal was going to be furious. Security, go and bring them two down here. Yes. When the 6 security guards on the playground heard this, they immediately rushed towards Lu Fan. Lu Fan sneered and raised his hand. 2 huge ghost wolves that were originally invisible slowly emerged around them. The terrifying aura made the 6 security guards freeze in place. What's going on with this wolf? Seeing this, the principal yelled. What are you doing? He is just an F-level waste. What powerful summons can he summon? These wolves only look scary on the outside, but in fact they must be scum with only 0 combat power. When the 6 security guards heard this, it seemed to make sense. They were also here when Lu Fan changed jobs in the morning, and they saw with their own eyes that he was indeed an F-class person. F-level, no matter how strong it is, it can't be any stronger. With this in mind, the 6 security guards gathered their courage and rushed towards Lu Fan again. Lu Fan stopped talking nonsense and waved his hand. One of the ghost wolves disappeared instantly. When they reappeared, the 6 security guards had been torn to pieces. The speed is so fast that even the naked eye cannot catch it. This time, the whole audience was shocked. Even the principal looked in disbelief. What's going on, Lu Fan, where did you get this wolf from? Lu Fan smiled coldly. Now, can we start? The principal was startled and didn't respond. And he seems to have stealth skills. What's even more terrifying is that Lu Fan actually has 3 such wolves. Seeing the principal's hesitation, Lu Fan lost his patience. The ghost fire in his right hand rose up and hit the nearest teaching building. There was a boom explosion. The teaching building with more than 10 floors was instantly reduced to ashes. Everyone was dumbfounded. Unexpectedly, Lu Fan dared to destroy the school's teaching building. And it's a newly built teaching building that cost hundreds of millions last year. This is tantamount to making an enemy of the entire school. Does he still want to take the college entrance examination? The principal was furious when he saw that the newly built teaching building was destroyed. Lu Fan, you are looking for death. All the teachers obeyed the order and took action together to kill Lu Fan. I will bear all the consequences. After the principal said this, a golden longbow appeared on his right hand. At the same time, rank and career information that had not been shown to anyone for many years also appeared on the head of the principal. Surprisingly, he is a level 39 golden shooter. No nonsense, it was a fatal shot to Lu Fan. Lu Fan, if you don't die today, I will stand on my head and climb Mount Everest. At the same time, all the teachers present used their skills and smashed towards Lu Fan. Many parents even stood up, displayed their skills, and launched attacks. However, Lu Fan realized that the real target of some of the parents' attacks was not himself, but Zhang Shui. Lu Fan looked slightly angry and raised his right hand. Summon the Hades. In an instant, 6 hell dogs emerged from the ground, protecting Zhang Shui and Lu Fan in the middle. Boom boom boom. The sound of skill bombardment kept ringing in my ears. But to everyone's surprise, the 6 Hades were unscathed. Not even the health bar dropped at all. That's right, compared to their injuries, the life recovery speed brought by the terrifying physique of the Hades is enough to offset their injuries. What the hell is going on? Isn't this guy F level? And he just changed his job. Why do he have so many summons, and they are so ferocious? Everyone was dumbfounded by Lu Fan's skills. The principal was also shocked and stunned. He knew very well that even a level 40 expert might not be able to withstand the damage caused by his fatal arrow. But it was unable to cause any harm to the summoned beast in front of Lu Fan. I can't imagine how this kid did it. At this time, Lu Fan slowly walked out of the siege of the Hades. Level information is clearly displayed on its head. When the principal looked at it, his eyes almost fell out of his head with fright. Level 23. How is that possible? This guy just changed his job today. At this time, Teacher Chen led a group of classmates back to school from the outdoor dungeon square. Seeing the scene in front of him, Teacher Chen instantly understood. He ran to the principal like crazy and told him what had just happened in the outdoor dungeon square. The principal was stunned. What did you say? He broke the record for wild dungeons. It only took more than a minute to clear the level 20 nightmare dungeon. Are you kidding me? Teacher Chen nodded awkwardly. Seeing it with my own eyes, it's absolutely true. The principal took a deep breath. At this time, he finally realized the point of the matter. According to what you say, if Lu Fan takes the college entrance examination, wouldn't he be able to get the top prize in the province? Teacher Chen shook his head in disgust. Principal, why are you so timid even in your dreams? With Lu Fan's strength, he is definitely the top pick in the country. The principal's body trembled with excitement. You must know that after the school has been established for so many years, it has never even produced a provincial champion, let alone a national champion. If the top pick in the country were to emerge, wouldn't their school's popularity explode? By then, the country's resources and society's resources will definitely be injected into the school. Kangnan no. One middle school will also become a famous school. And he will be the principal of a prestigious school. Thinking of this, a look of joy appeared on the principal's face. Ha ha ha, student Lu Fan, what happened just now was all a misunderstanding. Considering the relationship between the school and the Lu family, don't worry about it. Lu Fan naturally saw Teacher Chen next to the principal, understood what happened, and said coldly. Stop talking nonsense and hurry up. Okay, you said you want to help your friend change his job, right? No problem, I'll take care of it. After the principal said this, he formed a seal with his hands to activate the job transfer formation. At this time, the other parents were unhappy. Principal, this woman is very ominous, you will harm the next students. That's right, my son will change jobs later, and all the S's will become F's. Lu Fan came directly to the group of parents. The ghostly ghost fire in his right hand ignited. If you make any more noise, you'll die. The whole place fell silent for a moment. However, at this moment, Lu Fan felt ice on his face. I raised my hand and touched it, and it turned out to be a snowflake. At this time, there was heavy snowfall in the sky. What's going on? It's summer in June, how come there are snowflakes? Could it be that? A dazzling white light beam shot straight into the sky from Zhang Shui's body. The principal was trembling with excitement. Having been in the industry for decades, he certainly knows what this means. The beams of light soar into the sky, the snow falls in June, and there are strange phenomena. This is a sign that only exists at the SSS level. After a few seconds, the light beam dissipated. Zhang Shui's job transfer information appeared in the job transfer formation. Name: Zhang Shui, Occupation: Snow Queen, Level: SSS Legend. As the principal read out word by word, the whole playground was in an uproar again. It's actually SSS level. Even across the country, there are no more than 10 SSS level students every year. I didn't expect our school to produce one. What's going on? Isn't this woman ominous? Isn't she a disaster star coming to the world? How can she be an SSS level profession? And she is not an ordinary SSS, she is a legendary level SSS. That is a rarer existence than the SSS level. Zhang Shui looked at her career information and cried with excitement. Over the years, she has always believed that she was really a disaster. Her parents were killed by her, and changing jobs would not be a good career. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be the legendary SSS, the Snow Queen. Queen, such a noble word, is so incompatible with me. Zhang Shui even felt that everything was a dream now. At this moment, she was sleeping in her grass nest under the bridge. As soon as you wake up, it will all be gone. Until Lu Fan ran over and hugged him tightly. The hot body temperature finally made her realize that all of this was real. At this time, the principal was already bursting with joy. Just as Lu Fan came on the front foot, SSS Legend came on the back foot, and now the school didn't take off directly. Well, Dean of Students, come here and follow what I taught you last time and help the next students continue to transfer. The principal said that he would lead Lu Fan and Zhang Shui to fill out the form. However, Lu Fan pointed at several parents in the crowd and said coldly, "Principal, the children of those parents are disqualified from transferring this year." The principal was stunned. Why? Because when everyone was taking action just now, their target was Zhang Shui. They actually took action against someone who had not yet changed their profession. It was really shameless. This is their punishment. Do you understand? The principal was startled. But, now is the era of job transfer for all people. I don't have the right to prohibit them from changing jobs. As long as Chinese citizens are over 18 years old, they have the right to change jobs. What did you say? Lu Fan became angry when he heard this. You tell me again, was Zhang Shui an 18-year-old Chinese citizen before? Then why didn't you change her job? This. The principal was stunned and found himself speechless. Just one sentence, can you do it? Lu Fan's eyes were so sharp that the corner of the principal's mouth twitched. It can be done, of course it can be done. I'll give you instructions. The principal made a phone call and gave some instructions. Then the guard came in and dragged the parents and their children out. Zhang Shui looked up and found that those parents were the same people who had ridiculed her at the door earlier. Why are you driving us out? Our children have to change jobs. Several parents made a loud noise and refused. The guard smiled coldly. Sorry, the principal just ordered that your children have been expelled from the school, so non-school personnel are not allowed to enter. After seeing those ignorant parents being kicked out, Lu Fan was then satisfied and followed the principal to fill out the college entrance examination application form. Come to the southwest corner of the playground. There are several laptops placed here. The information on the application form is on the screen. Just fill it out and send it. I saw the principal bringing people here in person. The teacher in charge of filling out the application also wisely stepped back. Lu Fan sat down, entered his ID card and name, and then selected the school he wanted to apply for. Open the school selection list. At the top of the list are the 4 major universities in China. Eastern Territory Lingxiao Academy, Tiangong Academy of the Western Regions, Northern Xuanzhuang Academy, Southern Territory Qingyan Academy. Basically, students will choose schools in their respective areas. Because it's close to home. Kangnan City is located in Jiangnan Province and belongs to the southern region of China. Therefore, the first choice for students here must be Qingyan Academy. Lu Fan did not hesitate and directly targeted Qingyan Academy. Of course, he only went there to get the second piece of equipment from Hades. But when he clicked to confirm, the system actually gave a rejection prompt. Sorry, your professional talent is F and does not meet the requirements for applying to Qingyan University. Please choose another school to fill in the application. Lu Fan, what is there such a rule? And if I hadn't already awakened the Nether Lord, why was there still an F in the system? In other words, the information saved by the system is only the information that came out of the initial job transfer formation. The principal was also startled, and suddenly remembered that talent must be a level or above to be eligible to enroll in Qingyan Academy. The principal smiled and said to Lu Fan, Actually, the choice of this school is not important, it is just your first wish. In case your college entrance examination results are not satisfactory later, the school will make arrangements according to your wishes, that's all. Quote. Lu Fan frowned slightly. Pull the list to the end. I remember there is an option to automatically match based on grades. Master Lu can just choose that one. Fine. Lu Fan didn't care. After all, as long as his college entrance examination scores were good enough, he wasn't afraid of not being able to get into Qingyun Academy. And to say the least, even if he is not admitted to Qingyun Academy, if he breaks through with his strength, no one can stop him. It's just that he thinks there's no need to make too much noise, as it would be a waste of time to cause trouble. After Lu Fan submitted the application form, Zhang Shui also filled in his name and ID number on the computer next to him. But just when she finished entering her information, the registration page actually jumped directly to a hidden page. Astonishingly, it is a filling page exclusive to SSS level professions. Zhang Shui was shocked and had no idea what was going on. The principal was also confused, because the school has never produced SSS level before. On this page, there are only 5 schools. In addition to the 4 major universities mentioned just now, there is actually another university that even the principal has never heard of. Huayin Academy. And according to the comprehensive scores given by the system, the comprehensive scores of the 4 universities are all between 90 and 92 points. And this Huayin Academy has a score of 99. The overall score is impressively higher than the 4 major universities. What surprised everyone even more was that there was no submit application button on this particular page. Instead, a prompt box popped up. Dear legendary SSS professional Zhang Shui, your registration information has been pushed to the following 5 schools. They will take the initiative to contact you. Please keep your phone open. Based on your awakening level, the system recommends that you choose the number 1 academic institution in China, Huayin College. This made Lu Fan on the side dumbfounded. Good guy, the levels are different, the gap is so big. The principal smiled and shook his head. What is this Huayin University? Why is it ranked above the 4 major universities, but I have never heard of it? The principal shook his head and said that he, like Lu Fan, knew nothing about this institution. Then what is the difference between legendary SSS and ordinary SSS? You should know this. Lu Fan spent 3 years in high school and read thousands of books. But I have never seen any records about the legendary SSS. The principal smiled slightly. This is very simple. It is a profession that is not recorded in the professional illustrated book and only exists in legends. In other words, this kind of profession has never appeared before. No, it may have happened, but this kind of profession is generally very powerful. For some reason, the Chinese Empire did not record it in the professional illustrated book. So that's it, Zhang Shui, you are in serious trouble now. Lu Fan joked. No way, actually. I still don't know what's going on. Just then, the principal's phone rang. I picked it up and saw this number. It's a call from the North Territory. Hi, hello, are you Principal Zhang from Kangnan number 1 Middle School? We are from Baia Xuanchuang Academy. When the principal heard this, he immediately understood that he was looking for Zhang Shui. Ah, I am. Hello, is Zhang Shui next to you now? If it's convenient, please let her answer the phone. The principal was stunned. For a moment, I didn't understand why they didn't call Zhang Shui directly. But he still gave Zhang Shui the phone number. It's Xuanchuang Academy in the Northern Territory. I guess they're here to invite you to their academy. The principal directly turned on the speakerphone and put the phone in front of Zhang Shui. Well, I've given her the phone number, you can talk. When Zhang Shui heard this, she felt a little confused. I don't have a phone. ... As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was speechless. The person on the other end of the phone was also stunned for a while. No one expected that in this day and age there would be people without mobile phones. Can you please share your current address? Our admissions office manager has already departed for your city and will go to your address to communicate with you face to face about the school's relevant matters and welfare policies. When Zhang Shui heard this, she was startled again. After being kicked out of the house by the Zhang family, she has been living under a bridge on the edge of the city. But this is naturally very difficult to say. I I live. She lives in Lujiadun, number 182, Villa District. Lu Fan said directly. Zhang Shui was stunned and turned to look at Lu Fan in surprise. Lu Fan smiled slightly, leaned into Zhang Shui's ear and whispered. That's my home, you will live there from now on. There was a voice on the other end of the phone again. Lu Jiadun, number 182, Villa District. I have made a note. A teacher from the admissions office will contact you soon. Please give more consideration to our Xuanshuang Academy. As long as you come, you will never be disappointed. Quote. Okay, I will. Thank you very much for being willing to answer our call, so I won't disturb you anymore. I wish you a happy life. Goodbye. The phone hangs up, but the next second, another call came immediately. Looking at the number, it turned out to be Lingxiao Academy in the eastern region. Lu Fan smiled helplessly. As expected of the legendary SSS, it can actually make the 4 universities so active. The principal did not answer the phone immediately this time, but first asked Zhang Shui. Zhang Shui, do you have a favorite school now? Zhang Shui looked at Lu Fan and said shyly. Wherever Lu Fan goes, I will go. The principal obviously saw Zhang Shui's thoughts and chuckled. That's Qingyan Academy. Lu Fan was startled. Silly girl, you must give priority to that Huayin Academy, which is ranked number 1 overall. Zhang Shui pursed her lips. Then are you going to Huayin Academy? I have to go to Qingyan Academy to do something first. Lu Fan, you are my only friend. I will go wherever you go. Quote. Lu Fan was stunned for a moment. That's fine, anyway, schools and stuff like that are of no use. The principal also understood and confirmed again, then it will be decided on Qingyan University. In this case, I will reject the other 4 schools to prevent the teachers from their admissions office from making a trip in vain. The principal said, looking at Lu Fan, as if asking for his consent. Lu Fan nodded calmly. Okay, let's go to Qingyan Academy. It just so happens that Zhang Shui and I will be together to prevent her from being bullied there. After Lu Fan said this, he took Zhang Shui's hand. The two rode on the Stygian wolf and left the school. My home. Quote. The ghost wolf was very fast, and the two of them arrived at Lu Fan's mansion in just a few minutes. It was almost evening, just in time for dinner. Several old servants at home have prepared meals as usual. The large round table was filled with nearly 20 delicacies. Zhang Shuiren was dumbfounded. This is your dinner. Lu Fan nodded. You're welcome, you can eat whatever you want. Besides, there are many rooms here, so you can just choose one to live in. Good. Zhang Shui nodded. Lu Fan, thank you so much for today. If it weren't for you. Lu Fan quickly waved his hand. There is no need to talk about this between us. But Lu Fan, I still wonder why you want to help me. After all, I have always been ominous in the eyes of the world, and others can't even hide from me. Lu Fan smiled lightly. Because this person must avenge himself, but he must repay kindness. You are kind to me, so I will help you. Ah, I am kind to you. Zhang Shui became more and more confused as she listened. She didn't know Lu Fan at all before, so how could she be so kind? Lu Fan laughed. I'll tell you the truth, I was reborn. You saved me in my last life. Zhang Shui was startled. Hey, Lu Fan, although I really don't understand anything, you can't treat me like a fool. I know you don't believe it, but if I tell you, I know you live under a bridge, in a small nest made of weeds, and there is a career illustrated book you stole from school under the tattered pillow. In this case, can you believe it? Zhang Shui was completely dumbfounded now. After a long while, he said slightly angrily, Lu Fan, are you spying on me? Quote. How about we eat first? It won't be good if it gets cold. After the two had dinner, Lu Fan took Zhang Shui to choose a room. Zhang Shui chose a room opposite Lu Fan. Lu Fan asked Zhang Shui to take a bath and rest first, as he still had some things to do. Zhang Shui nodded sensibly. After settling Zhang Shui, Lu Fan took out his cell phone and first dialed Han Yanlin's number. At this time, Han Yanlin was with her father Han Tianai. They just had a phone call with Professor Zhuang from Qingyan University. He informed Professor Zhuang of everything Lu Fan had done. Professor Zhuang said that he had something to do and couldn't get over now, but early tomorrow morning, he would personally take people to deal with Lu Fan. This undoubtedly gave Han Yanlin and Han Tianai great courage. He thought that as long as Professor Zhuang arrived, no matter how awesome Lu Fan was, he would never be Professor Zhuang's opponent. But at this moment, Han Yanlin's cell phone rang. She took it out and saw that it was Lu Fan calling, and she panicked instantly. Father, what should I do? Han Tianai sighed helplessly. Take it first and see what he says. Han Yanlin struggled to click the connect button and set her phone to speaker mode. Han Yanlin, you take my words as farts, don't you? Didn't I ask you to come to my house to wait for me at night? I will give you 10 minutes now to show up at my door immediately, otherwise, the whole Han family will die. 10 minutes, this. Before Han Yanlin finished speaking, Lu Fan hung up the phone without giving him any chance to speak. Father, what should I do now? Han Tianai sighed. There's nothing we can do about it, Yanlin. Professor Zhuang won't come until tomorrow. For the sake of the family, you can only suffer for one night, Father, this is a whole night. I don't know how that beast will play with me. What if I can't carry it through? Han Yanlin burst into tears as she spoke. You must know that Han Yanlin has been the daughter of the Han family since she was born. I have always been held in the palm of my hand, and I have never been wronged in the slightest. Now that she had to suffer this kind of punishment, she really couldn't accept it. There is really nothing we can do now. As you can see, that kid Lu Fan is killing people without blinking an eye. He even dares to kill Wu Qi, let alone our little Han family. Han Tianai glanced at his watch. It's too late. We only have 10 minutes. We have to leave immediately. I will drive you there myself. You have to remember that no matter what Lu Fan wants you to do, you must try your best to cooperate. As long as you survive tonight, it will be over. Do you understand it? Kindness. With tears in her eyes, Han Yanlin bit her red lips and nodded. Here, put this on. Han Tianai suddenly took out a purple translucent lace nightgown and a pair of black silk stockings with letters from Balenciaga. Han Yanlin was shocked. Father, what are you doing? That beast is already perverted. If I wear this, he won't eat me. Han Tianai sighed. Daughter, what you have to do now is try your best to please Lu Fan. Saving your life is the most important thing. By wearing these, you at least show your attitude. Maybe Lu Fan will be gentler to you for this reason. Father, this. Okay, stop talking, there's not enough time, let's set off first, and you can change in the car. 10 minutes later, Han Yanlin, wearing a lace sleepsuit and lettered stockings, stood at the door of Lu Fan's villa delicately. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.